Giants baseball rained out due to rain.
What's shaking? Tim must have forgot where he did this. I don't want two of them.
Wake up, Tim.
One's enough. Jeez. How many times does this guy get hit on his head when he's younger? Thank you.
The NBA brought him to the Bay.
Oh, brother. Yeah, let's just play that 10 more times. 2 Tool songs. We'll be done. We'll be out of here. So there you go. You got, what'd you get, an inning and a half?
Yeah.
2?
I'm still catching my breath, dude. I walked out of here and I hung around for a minute making sure they were actually going to play. Then they start the game. I was like, all right, cool. And then I was like, I'm going to walk up the street, get a slice of pizza. And I was like, I don't know. It's funny how a 10-minute walk seems way longer when you're trying to hurry to get back. And so Derek texted me. He's like, hey, dude, game is canceled. And I was like, oh, no. And dude, then I started sprinting. And then he's like, we're coming back. They're throwing it to us. I was like, dude, I'm still when you move real fast and then your body hasn't had time to cool down yet. I'm sweating bullets right now.
You're still there?
Yeah. No, I'm still at the pizza place. Yeah. No, I'm still really, really warm. It's a beautiful day out, but it's
oh, it's awesome.
It's a hot one.
It is warm.
Anyway, Giants game rained out due to rain, as Marty broke the news there.
Giants baseball rained out due to rain.
I can't remember the last time there was a rain out in spring training, let alone 3 rainouts in a week and a half for one team. I mean, the Giants have had no opportunity to get guys work and stretch them out. So, we're on later than normal, but earlier than expected for today. You did give the guest list earlier.
I did. Randy Bennett and Michael Thompson.
350, and then Michael Thompson at 450. The news on Steph is he's playing tomorrow. And then we started talking a little Aaron Donald before we had to go back to the game. But the big news of the day is that Aaron Donald this morning, was it about 9 o'clock this morning, 9:30 this morning?
Yep.
The announcement comes in that Aaron Donald is calling it a career. And it's been a rumor for the last few off seasons, like when we've hit the off season. Remember after they won the Super Bowl, there were the Aaron Donald retirement rumors and the Sean McVay exit for TV rumors. And I kind of thought, okay, well, if one guy does it, if Donald retires here, I wouldn't be shocked at all if McVay goes and does TV, or vice versa. And they both came back. McVay then signs a longer-term deal. Donald is now walking away at 32 years old. He would be 33 if he played this season. His age 33 season, walks away with $60 million left on the table here. 1 year left on his contract. He had 8 sacks last season, 111 career sacks, 3 Defensive Player of the Years, 8 first-team All-Pros in 10 Pro Bowl seasons, in 10 seasons in the career. First ballot Hall of Famer, but you said this earlier, Tom. You said, is he the best all-time interior D lineman? Where do you rank him? Can you find anybody that you think's better?
I'm trying to think of interior defensive lineman. Mean Joe Green, interior defensive lineman. Randy White, interior defensive lineman. I guess J.J. Watt was kind of both.
Yeah.
He was kind of outside, but then so was Aaron Donald. He was kind of outside, kind of inside. I don't know if you really just say he was a defensive tackle.
It's kind of the power forward, small forward thing in today's game.
We're getting to the Steph Curry. Is he a point guard?
Nice,
is Aaron Donald a defensive tackle, or is he just a defensive lineman? Because some of those guys move around. He's got to be top 5 defensive lineman of all time. I mean, Reggie White, definitely one of them. Maybe J.J. Watt's in there. Aaron Donald
Warren Sapp
in there. I mean, it's hard to go Mean Joe Green and all those guys. They were great. I don't know. I mean, it's like comparing Steph to Jordan to Magic to the eras are so different. That era was so different than today's era. You couldn't put up the numbers you put up today as far as pressures and sacks because they didn't pass that much. You didn't have that much of an opportunity to get to the quarterback. I mean, when you did, you could drop him on his head and kick him in his face, but that's a different story. They let you get away with a lot more back then. So I don't know, but he's one of the all-time greats. There's no doubt. I mean, 10 years, 10 Pro Bowls, and what'd you say, 8 all first team?
8 first-team All-Pros.
I mean, this guy.
You make one All-Pro, it's you're like, that guy's an All-Pro. It's incredible.
Yeah.
No, this guy's 8-time first-team
Couldn't
All-Pro.
block him.
And unblockable. So I would say, universally, is Reggie White considered the best D lineman of all time?
I would say so.
I feel like Bruce Smith doesn't get the love, even though he's got the most sacks ever.
He's great.
He's probably up there, too. Deacon Jones, says Derek.
Oh, the head slap. Love the head slap.
I got to tell you, the Reggie White, you pair that with the nickname, it's tough to beat, dude. Minister of Defense.
The Minister of Defense.
That's one of the coolest nicknames of all time, yeah.
An incredible nickname.
Sucks when good nicknames fall on guys who don't perform,
Much better at sacking quarterbacks than sermons.
Well, you might say that sacking the quarterback was his sermon. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well.
And unless he was asking Steve. Unless he was asking Steve what's up. Right, yeah, well, maybe. So Reggie White, Bruce Smith. See, then there's guys on here. Merlin Olsen.
Great actor.
All-time greats, Merlin Olsen.
Yep.
Who else on here? Randy White, you said.
Randy White.
Aaron Donald, though.
Mean Green.
Yeah, if you're looking at the all-time best defensive lineman, the Pro Football Hall of Fame list, they have Aaron Donald still on here as he's eligible in 2029 now as of his retirement. And they have him listed as whatever their legend score is and the stuff that they put together, however they score it, they have him ranked as 6th or 7th best of all time. Then Alan Page, Warren Sapp, Julius Peppers.
What? Julius Peppers ahead of him?
No, behind him.
Oh, I think you said, okay.
This is just their rank of whatever their legend score is. I don't know how they, whatever their system is that they do this. I'm just giving you based on their list. You said Joe Green, John Randall, dude.
Mm-hmm.
John Randall. Julius Peppers, I said Jack Youngblood.
Oh, Jack Youngblood, Ram.
Dude, how do we forget Strahan?
Oh, yeah, Strahan.
See, there's a lot of really, really good ones, but a lot of these guys, too, are on the outside. Defensive end is what they list J.J. Watt as here.
Oh, they do? Okay.
Yeah, and Dominican Sue, where does he come down for you? He's had a great career, but I don't think of him as an all-time great.
No. He was dominant.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was weird because he was dominant, but it never seemed like he was as dominant as he was in college. College, he was just a terror.
Yeah.
He just killed people. But he got to the NFL. He was good. I'm sure stomping on people didn't help when people think of him. But, yeah, I mean, he was good. He was really good. I mean, Warren Sapp might be up there.
Yep.
It's hard to think. You're thinking defensive line. Once you think of them, then you're of course.
They start pouring, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Myles Garrett's going to be there. Not there yet, but a few more years.
T.J. Watt will be there. Yeah.
T.J. Watt will be. And then you start getting to that interesting linebacker / defensive end hybrid that started, I think, the first guy I remember doing that was Kevin Green in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, Kevin Green's got to be
They called him a linebacker. You're that dude's not a linebacker. It's all he does is rush the quarterback.
Right.
It's
Khalil Mack, all-pro at both of those. Remember, he was all-pro at two positions early on. Yep. Alden Smith kind of did that, right? The hybrid. And that's when that DN sort of lean, long, pass, the edge. They would just start calling it the edge rusher, that player. That's his position. So, I mean, earlier I told you John Feliciano tweeted that he was back with the Niners, excited to be back. The best news of the day was that he's a 49er and that Aaron Donald is retired, so he doesn't have to worry about Aaron Donald anymore. I mean, this is a huge, I don't say changing of the guard in the West, because I do think the 49ers were still atop the NFC West, but this is as far as players who could leave the division that would change the division, this is maybe the number one guy, right?
Yep.
I don't
know there's any doubt that's the number one guy. He is such a force on defense. I mean, I can't think of anybody. Well,
there's not a quarterback right now, my point is, in the NFC West that makes you be okay, well, that guy's controlling the division.
Who would you, outside of a quarterback in the division, who would you say if you got rid of that guy, that team's a lot less scary?
As it stands right now, as rosters currently stand, Brock Purdy would be one up there, just because I'm thinking.
No, but I said other than quarterback.
Other than the position of quarterback.
Other than quarterback.
Christian McCaffrey.
Would it be McCaffrey or would it be Bosa?
Probably McCaffrey.
Okay.
I'd be more, I think it would be McCaffrey.
See, because I'd go Bosa because I've seen him do it without McCaffrey before.
That's fair.
They haven't.
We saw him do it without
Bosa hasn't played.
They went to the Super Bowl in 19. I guess you're right. It's a different defense still.
No, I mean, McCaffrey's a good. I mean, because McCaffrey's so damn good. I mean, those would be the two. Anybody else?
How about Trent Williams? We talked about that at the start of the year.
He'd probably three.
It's an inside football one. That's
exactly.
I'm going O-lineman. But okay, so who else? The Seahawks, to me, don't have anybody that changes the course of that right now. I mean, they're a lot worse if they lose Kenneth Walker or something, but that's not to me changing the course of the division. And then Arizona,
maybe.
Yeah, but still,
maybe.
They're not. Are they? Yeah. Because again, the quarterback is the one who's got to get him the ball. It's the MVP thing for me.
Yeah.
So
and Arizona's not good with all the guys they have.
It'd be better if they got rid of Kyler, maybe. You know what I mean?
Yes. So I don't know.
Be an improvement if they got rid.
You know what?
It must be.
Maybe there's just not that many teams that you look at and go, man. If you outside of quarterback again, if you take that guy away, That's a totally different
It's a
team.
great question because again, we all look at Brock and say we know what he's capable of doing. The Rams, if you took Stafford away at this point, like they'll still be a factor in my mind. They may still be the second best team, and we'll see what happens with them throughout the draft and the rest of free agency. But they added, by the way, Jimmy Garoppolo
I got one.
as their backup.
Kelsey.
Travis Kelce. That's a big one.
You take that
That's a
guy
huge
away,
one.
that offense is completely different. I mean, I could say Chris Jones, and that would be but that would be an argument too, kind of like the McCaffrey Bosa, one offense, one defense. Kelsey may be the only tight end that would be on that list. But you take Kelsey out of that offense,
Just a receiver.
Completely different offense.
Because what's crazy about that is I know Patrick Mahomes is obviously the thing that makes it go, but Kelce was a good player before that. Like he was a good player before Mahomes blew up. It elevated him to the place in his career that's made him a Hall of Famer and a world champion. But in terms of the offense for the Chiefs, I thought when Tyreek Hill, I think a lot of people did, when Tyreek Hill went to Miami, that the Chiefs' offense would change tremendously. And it did feel different for a minute because he gives you an element. It's kind of like if Debo, I feel like, or McCaffrey. It's like we've seen the Shanahan offense with Christian McCaffrey. Without Christian McCaffrey, it's still pretty electric, still pretty special. But when he's there, it raises it to a level that's unthinkable, right? It's why we talked about it being one of the best, if not the best, Niner offense of all time. I think Kelce has that same impact. I think that offense would still be good because Mahomes would make everybody better. But you're probably right. It doesn't do what it's done, and it doesn't win you Super Bowls without that guy, at least not at this rate.
Yep. I mean, heck, you could probably say Tyreek down in Miami. Be a totally different offense.
Who was that? One more time?
Tyreek down in Miami?
Yeah. Oh, totally, completely.
I mean, that'd be one.
But
I don't know if Jamar Chase would be a guy.
But that doesn't change. Does it change I guess it may change the fortunes of their division. He was in like an MVP candidate, Tyreek was.
Yeah. I mean, I guess Jamar Chase, then they'd still have Higgins. They'd keep Higgins if they didn't have Chase. I'm thinking Buffalo. I don't know. Is there really anybody on that one?
Yeah, Josh Allen makes the whole thing go.
Yeah,
it's such a quarterback league. I'm trying to think of another. The Steelers aren't good enough right now to say T.J. Watt.
Yeah,
but if they're good enough, then he'd be the guy. Because it's not for lack of effort for him setting records and all that. So
yeah. You know who else? You know who would be? And we saw it a little bit this year. Jefferson for Minnesota.
Justin Jefferson.
Yeah. That offense totally different.
He's going to be like, get me the hell out of here, dude. What is going on? They picked up another first rounder, by the way, did the Minnesota Vikings. They've got 11 and I think something in the 20s, so there's thought that
I saw that.
They may try to move up to get a quarterback, but the top three teams are all likely going to take one, so maybe a battle for number 4.
Now, have you seen this? I didn't see this. My son, Weston, said he saw it. And, of course, I tell him, get off those goofy rumor-mongering websites. I go, they don't listen to them. You got to go to a reputable website. But he said the Bengals were, I don't know if they were interested in or people were speculating they might be interested in Justin Jefferson. My guess would be T. Higgins and a few number ones, and then they would take Jefferson. And I just thought, can they get Clyde Edwards-Helaire too and just get the whole LSU team back together? Just put them all. What if the whole LSU team came to? I guess they'd have to dig moss.
We'll get the band back together. Let's do it. We're getting everybody together. We're going to a reunion.
Yeah, get Orgeron to be the offensive coordinator.
Get Orgeron to show up.
Could you imagine Jefferson and Chase in the same?
It's a joke.
I mean, it was bad enough in college.
Yeah. And you got Burrow there, just heaving it.
Yeah, Burrow.
That ain't happening.
No.
There's no chance they can do. They're pulling that off. There's no way that.
No,
happens.
I didn't. Again, I go, really? And then I looked at any reputable website, nobody had it. I go, you must be looking at one of those.
Dude, who said this? It was
websites.
Weston?
I think it was Weston. Maybe it was. I'm not sure who said it. But they just say they just scroll through social media sometimes and look at stuff. I go, don't do that.
Yeah.
I think that's the worst thing to do.
I got something
you can stop on us occasionally, but I wouldn't even do that.
I got something for Weston. Grow up, bro. Come on. Grow up. Tolbert and Close with you on a Friday afternoon. It's St. Patty's Day weekend, by the way. Make sure you're wearing green on Sunday. Yeah,
Cheers.
we're going out to get a few pops after the show with the boys, with the fellas. Fridays are for the boys and some pops for St. Patty's Day weekend.
Very nice.
But before we do that and get to some more good stuff here on a Friday afternoon, Giants rained out today due to rain. And we are still giving away tickets to the Outlaw Festival.
Giants baseball rained out due to rain.
Hang out today with us until 6 o'clock. We'll give you a cue to call to go to the Outlaw Festival. Cue to call to win tickets to go to the Outlaw Festival with Willie Nelson, Bob Dylan, and John Mellencamp. It's going down August 3rd, 2024, out at Shoreline Amphitheater. Again, between now and 6 o'clock, when we give you the cue to call, be caller 10 to 415-896-KNBR. 415-896-KNBR. If you're caller 10, you win the tickets. Furnished by Live Nation. Tim, what's the cue to call?
The guy was coming out of an antique clock shop, and he had this big grandfather's clock, and he bumped into this drunk, fell down, busted the clock all to pieces, and he got up and said, "Why don't you watch where you go at?" The drunk said, "Why don't you wear a wristwatch like everybody else?"
All right,
Willie.
All right, there you go. When you hear that, between now and 6 o'clock, be caller 10 to the studio, 415-896-KNBR, and you'll win those tickets to the Outlaw Festival. Willie Nelson, Bob Dylan, and John Mellencamp. Again, furnished by Live Nation. You can get tickets now at livenation.com. When we come on back, a positive update on Steph Curry. He's going to play in L.A. How big is this game for the Warriors? We will talk to Michael Thompson about it a little bit later at 4:50. Randy Bennett, head coach of the St. Mary's Gales, at 3:50. And Steph Curry joins the Warriors tomorrow. We'll talk about it next on the Sports Leader.
Wherever you are, we're streaming 24/7 at KNBR.com. This is Tolbert and Copes. Tom Tolbert and Adam Copeland on KNBR 104.5 and 680, the sports leader.
Now Steph in a little distress.
So they're in the bonus.
It doesn't look good.
Yeah, Steph is limping around. That is the last thing you want to see. He's trying to work that thing out. See if we can find what happened to Steph. Going back door. Oh, there's a turn, the right ankle.
Turn that right ankle. I saw that so many times earlier in his career.
Just took an awkward step.
That's a bad one. Steph, he's going to have to come out of the game and maybe go to the locker room.
Yeah, that's one. You can't just walk that one off and come back.
He felt that ankle in Burgundy.
In Lyon. In Paris.
Steph Curry. I'm not a cities, yeah. I didn't call the Tour de France a bunch of times. So there it was, the injury to Steph Curry, which happened against the Chicago Bulls. So 3 games. They said it's a bad one. This is what Bob Fitzgerald had said there. And it actually is not all that bad, or at least we don't think it's all that serious, as he's returning to the Warriors. That's the expectation, or the announcement today, to play against the Lakers, which is really the biggest game on the schedule for the next. I mean, they're all big games at this point, but the head-to-head matchup against a team that you may need a tiebreak against is going to be huge, and it comes on the road, a place where Steph has not played well in his career. Here's Steph Curry just a couple of hours ago. This is per Mark Medina's Twitter on the nature of the ankle injury and what the plan is for tomorrow.
Can't fast forward or cheat the healing process. There are some that are kind of on the fence of whether you can kind of push through and not make it worse, but just deal with pain. Been through all types of injuries. So this one was one. It was a certain time frame to let my ankle heal, and then have a little bit of work on the court to build back up. So it's tough to miss games, but you obviously understand you can't make things worse, knowing what time of the year we're in right now.
So it sounds to me like it just wasn't all that serious. Because he's saying you can't make it worse, you can't stress it. But he did say there were two lines of thought kind of on this injury.
I think they should have cheated the healing process.
Okay, so you can't cheat it.
Just see what would have happened. just see what would have happened.
I think Aaron Rodgers tried to do that. He's like, no, I'm back. We're like, I didn't see you play. He's like, no, I'm good. See, look.
Achilles what?
I'm back.
What are you talking about, Achilles? You know, I did. I went to a dark room and I told that Achilles, listen here, you sumbitch. You're going to get better in about three months. Yeah. All right?
I wrapped a wad of ones in a $50 bill and I handed it to the ankle. And I said, it's here it is. It's all $500, but it wasn't. I cheated it.
I wrapped it in some gauze.
Came home back. Put
some Tabasco on it and said, you're good. And it was magically.
Rub some dirt in it. I mean, there you go. So, I mean, he's back. I can't imagine if it were that serious of an injury.
No.
That he would be back. And he's saying you don't want to make it worse. Of course, you don't want to make it worse. They need him for hopefully the next 2.5 months. You know what I mean? So.
The last thing you want to do is grind, make it worse, and then get the 9 spot, and he's not 100%. You still got to win 2 games. I mean, it's better have a 9 than 10, but I'd much rather have 10 and him healthy than grind for the 9 and not have him 100% healthy. That makes no sense whatsoever. So, yeah, you're going to make sure that he's 100%, and they're just not going to risk anything. That's kind of how they are, and I get it. And it'd be different if Saturday were the play-in game and he was questionable. Then he would probably say, all right, let me give it a go here, because if we lose this, we're done anyway. So let's go ahead and give it a go, as long as there isn't any long-term damage to be had. But they don't have to do that. They didn't have to make that decision. They made it against Dallas, and that was an easy one to make. And this one seems like Steve said it with you and Mike a couple days ago, that it's on track to play Saturday if you don't have a setback. And it doesn't sound like he has. So it sounds like he is ready to go. Hopefully his shot will come with him. That's always questionable down at Crypto. But yeah, it's a big game. I don't know where the Lakers are. I know you told me yesterday where the Mavericks were in terms of conference record.
I've got it up for you.
I don't know where the Lakers in division record.
They're 2 games better than the Warriors. So this really is a big tiebreak thing for the Warriors.
This is massive
because they're 7-8. The Warriors are 5-9. So the Warriors would be Tim if they win against the Lakers tomorrow.
5-10, and then.
But if they win, they'd be Tim.
69.
Exactly. They'd be 6-9.
Yeah. So now you're talking about them maybe even not needing if they play you the last time, they might not even need that game for like a tiebreaker because they might have the tiebreaker.
They might have the second break and it wouldn't matter. Yeah.
So that's why this is a big one. You want to put yourself in a position to have a chance to not only jump them, but have the tiebreaker on them if it comes down to that. Because again, the tiebreakers don't roll in their favor against literally anybody else they're gonna go up against. And so, yeah, I mean it's about as big as it can get without being an elimination game. There's still a lot of basketball to be played. There's a lot of time to catch them. So it's not like, oh, this is it. They're going to be 10 if they lose it. But they make it a lot harder on themselves. A lot harder on themselves. And let's not forget, I mean, the Lakers are chasing the Mavericks too. So this is a big game for them. They want to try to get to 8. They don't want to have to win 2 games. And so we'll see where it ends up. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. It's fun to have these type of games in the regular season where you feel kind of like, I always hate when people say in December playoff intensity. I'm like, no, it's not. I'm talking about playoff intensity.
Yeah.
Stop. I
It's
mean,
game 3 of the season, not the series.
Yeah, it's so overused when announcers say that. I'm like, go beat it.
It's a playoff atmosphere here.
Yeah.
Really?
Like
Are they playing this? No, because they play Saturday. It's not a playoff atmosphere.
Did you write that in your book? Yeah. You're going to get that one in? Squeeze that one in today during the telecast?
It's a playoff atmosphere here.
Yeah, no. But this one is because it's close enough to the end of the season, and you can kind of see the finish line from here. Like, we're at the top of the home stretch, but you can see the finish line. There's still ways to go, but it's there.
Yep.
So these games become like you really start kind of seeing where you are in the landscape. And this is a big one. I bet you the Lakers will treat it like that as well. So I'm looking forward to this one. I'll be locked in 5:30 tomorrow night.
November 19th, but Smoothie King Arena feels like a playoff atmosphere here. Like, it's just like, what are we doing? Come on.
Smoothie King Arena never feels like a playoff atmosphere.
Never has. I don't think it ever will.
Well,
even when they're there.
It feels like a haunted house atmosphere when that damn Pelican's rolling around.
That thing is crazy. King Cake
nasty.
Baby?
Huh? Oh, King Cake Baby. Yeah, King Cake Baby and the old Pelican. The new Pelican's a little more fan-friendly because it scared the kids. That's why they got rid of it. It looked like a homicidal pelican. It really did. Like, when I first saw it, I'm like, who did this thing? Good night. Must have been the same guy that did Gritty up in Philly, for the Flyers. That thing's psycho, too. But this thing was like, if any mascot could kill people,
my God,
that pelican would have been it. That would have been a serial killing mascot.
I don't think of Gritty as a killer, though. I think of Gritty as more like Grandma from Rounders. Like, he'll break your thumbs and the juice is running.
Grandma?
And the juice is running.
I thought I smelled something.
Then it's on me, too. Yeah, that's
me, too.
Grandma.
But yeah, the pelican was good. Because I was there. We were there for in 2015. It didn't feel, it was okay because the Warriors were just rolling them. But no, this is, and speaking of the Pelicans back then, they had Anthony Davis. Look who's here. Anthony Davis with the Lakers. So now I'm looking forward to that one. That's going to be a fun one because if they don't win that one, I'm not going to say they're locked into 10, but you can almost say the die is cast and they're not getting to 8. Like, it's going to be 9, 10, and at that point, they're making it really difficult on themselves. I want to see where Luke is at and what his status is going to be moving forward, but they'd be making it real hard on themselves if they lose to Dallas and the Lakers back-to-back.
Part of the reason I really want this one is it will keep the Warriors, their head-to-head tiebreak chances alive with the Lakers, which then could mean in the final week of the season they'll play the Lakers with 4 games remaining in L.A. And how cool, I mean, this is the one thing about the play-in that I will say about this year. You and I both thought, and my big knock on adding more playoff teams to the NBA always was the Eastern Conference. That frequently we would end up with teams that were not in the playoffs in the Western Conference and teams in the Eastern Conference that were under 500 that were getting in. You're like, they would be the if we did this by best 16 teams, they wouldn't sniff the top 16 because you'd have more West teams in than East. So originally I'm thinking, okay, well, we're just going to get more crap in. What we actually, I think in the last 2 years, what the result of it has been is we're getting more parity throughout the Western Conference deeper. So while I still don't think I love the play-in, I do think it's pretty cool that the Warriors and the Lakers have Steph and LeBron going head-to-head on a Saturday night, duking it out for an opportunity to claim a certain spot, for an opportunity to get into the playoffs. And if Steph and the Warriors win tomorrow, you'll get potentially a really cool one on a Tuesday night in April with 3 games remaining after that one in L.A. It could be the exact same situation where teams are jockeying for position. So while I don't like the play-in itself, I do think this situation that it's built for the Western Conference this year is pretty cool because I do think the Warriors and the Lakers are playoff teams. I don't know if they're championship teams, but I think they do deserve to have a shot to fight for a playoff spot.
Well, I mean, look, I'll borrow from Ralph here in that two things can be equally true. One, I don't believe there should be a plan because I think 82 games is enough to determine who the playoff teams are
right, yeah.
and are not. And yes, if you want to give me a single elimination game with LeBron and Steph.
Which we got once before.
Yes, or games leading up to a single elimination game with LeBron and Steph. Yeah, I mean, you're giving me two of the greatest players of all time. So, of course, I'm going to be in for that one. It doesn't mean that I agree at that point because, yeah, I mean, certain games are going to be really fun, but you can't guarantee me those games every year. So from a standpoint of what I think is right and wrong, I think 82 games is more than enough, more than fair to determine who the top 8 teams are. But, yeah, this year it's going to be incredible. I mean, you look at the teams: Sacramento, Dallas, Phoenix, Lakers, Warriors. I mean, you can't go wrong with those. You're going to get 3 play-in games, and all of them are going to be highly rated. If the Lakers and Warriors play in an elimination game, that'll be higher rated than most first-round matchups in the playoffs, maybe even second-round matchups. I mean, who wouldn't watch that one? Yeah, you got an elimination game, Bird and Jordan. You want to watch it? Yeah, of course I want to watch it. I mean, 2 of the greatest of all time.
LeBron had a game winner in the first time it happened. I mean, he had the stupid thing where he said he got poked in the eye.
Yes.
And then he was like, he did get poked, but he just said, seeing 3 hoops, so I just shot at the middle one.
Yeah. Might have embellished.
I don't know. He doesn't. He's usually pretty honest and straight to the point. LeBron.
Is true.
He reads a lot too.
I'll watch, and I don't think it should happen, but it's going to be. And look, you're going to hear it. Those that listen to Michael Thompson at 450, we talk about it a little bit, and he just says it's fun because more fan bases get involved, and I agree with that. But then I can just keep adding teams and say more fan bases are going to be involved. I mean, to me, that's faulty logic. What do you want? Like, you want 129 or 128 NCAA teams? More my friend, they're going to be involved. Like, well, who cares? We don't need them involved. I don't really want them involved. This time, you get lucky in that the teams that are involved have mega star power. Mega star power. I mean, you got Doncic, you got KD, you got Steph, you got LeBron. Really, the Pelicans are the only ones that don't have star power, and they got Zion, who's probably not 100 watts, but 50. He's fun to watch, and so is Ingram. But you're getting like mega stars at the bottom of the Western Conference. So yeah, of course it's going to be really, really fun to watch. I mean, in fact, you think about it: who are the stars on the teams that are above them that shine brighter? Jokic, he's better. But I don't know if he shines brighter than those guys.
So I'll go right up Dallas, Luka, and Kyrie. Yeah,
no, he doesn't shine any brighter than those guys. He's better, but he doesn't shine bright. Edwards maybe better. I don't know.
Edwards
if
and Towns definitely not. No.
Yeah, I don't know if this point of his career he shines any brighter. Kawhi and Leonard are really good. They don't shine any brighter. I mean, you're getting like the star of stars. Like people want to see these guys.
KD and Booker. That's pretty good.
KD is people.
KD's pretty good.
People tune in to see KD, but really, I mean, think about it. The people tune in to see guys that do incredible things. And again, I think Jokic is at the very top of the list, but he doesn't dunk. He's not super athletic, so maybe people kind of take him for granted. Like, okay. But the 3 stars I think people would absolutely tune in to watch will more than likely be in the play-in game. Luka, LeBron, Steph. Those are your 3 guys that people are like, oh, they're playing? I want to watch those guys play.
And if Phoenix,
they're going to be in single elimination games.
If Phoenix ends up there, you're looking Luka, LeBron, Steph, and KD.
Yeah.
Which is wild. The 4 of the best, you're right, 4 of the biggest stars, if not the 4 biggest in the postseason in the Western Conference, would be in the play-in. So there you go. Talks to the depth of a lot of these teams as well. We'll get into this a little bit deeper with the play-in because Charles Barkley went off on it yesterday. He hates the play-in, thinks it's ridiculous. Now, it's given some juice to a Saturday night 9-10 matchup, right? Because 4 years ago, we'd be like, what the hell is this about? What are we talking about? 9-10 on a Saturday. Who cares? Neither team. I mean, the Warriors won 48 games in what was that, 2007-8, the year after the We Believe, and didn't make the playoffs.
Didn't make it.
They get 6 games better than the We Believe Warriors and didn't make the playoffs. So, the expanding of it, if you've got these teams at the bottom, it could end up being pretty cool. We'll talk more about it with the Charles Barkley sound in a bit, as well as with Michael Thompson at 4:50, but it's tourney time. You got it, Tim? Tourney time. Randy Bennett, the head coach of the St. Mary's Gales, stops by. We got that for you next on the Sports Leader. The 49ers don't have to worry about Aaron Donald anymore as the 3-time Defensive Player of the Year announced his retirement today after 10 NFL seasons. More on that story trending, KNBR.com and the KNBR app.
Now back to Tom Tolbert and Adam Copeland. Tolbert and Copes. Download the KNBR app and listen anywhere, anytime. We are KNBR 104.5 and 680, the sports leader.
It's the Gales gone wild. It's the Gales gone wild.
It is tourney time. We got a couple days left, and then we'll find out what the brackets are, where everybody's going, and we know one thing. The St. Mary's Gales are in. We'll just find out where they're going, who they're playing against. Hell of a season. The conference champs, the tournament champs. and we talked to the head coach of the Gales on KNBR, Randy Bennett. Coach, what is going on?
Gee, great to be on your show, and there's not a lot going on right now for us, but it's a good feeling.
Congratulations, man. I mean, what a run you guys had. You got off to a little bit of a rocky start early in the year, and then once maybe a little bit before conference, you guys kind of got it pointed in the right direction, and then once conference hit, you guys took off. Your only loss was to Gonzaga at home last game of the season, and then you atoned for that in the tournament, took them out in the conference tournament. I mean, what a fun year.
No, it was a great year. It's been a great year. Still some work to do, but as far as just coach and when you coach a team, just it's for them to overcome what they did as far as how we started, and just continue to get better and believe and stay together, and just didn't fray at all. So it's like I said, as a coach, that's kind of what you want to see, the growth and just the togetherness, the team, the leadership. So I feel really good about this group.
How about the growth of Marshallonis? Because when he first came to St. Mary's, and when I first saw him play, I'll say he was strictly he'd always been tough, get after you defensively, but he was a pass first guy, didn't shoot much, didn't look to score much, and now he's blossomed. Like, he's still not a big time scorer, but he looks to score. He can hurt you. You can tell he's a good leader. He's tough, physical, maybe not as physical as his dad, who was maybe the most physical player that I've played with from a guard position, but wow, he's really grown, hasn't he?
He really has, and that's kind of what I was saying. As a coach, that's what you want to see, and we've pretty much been that way across the board as far as our guys who play a lot. But he's the most improved. Like, from where he was as a freshman, and even as a sophomore, he didn't start getting confident and really turning into a player until halfway through last year, and then in the spring and summer, he really worked, and we started. Our coaching staff would see him in open gym, and what he was doing was like, this guy's like our best player. And it just kept happening. And we had a fall, and we thought it would kick in. You never know, but it took a little while for this year for him to take on that role as, hey, the ball's going to be in your hands a lot, and we need you to play well and play like 35 minutes. And that's when we started turning it, was when he just really gained some confidence and started doing it in games all the time. And I think for young players, you got to understand that you just have to get enough reps in games, and then you'll start probably playing how you should, playing to the ability that you can. And so he did. I think he gained confidence and just kept steamrolling from there.
Was that Mahaney's best game of the year against Gonzaga in the finals of the tournament? It seemed like he was more aggressive in that game, more confident. He's had his struggles shooting at points this year, and sometimes it doesn't even look like he's looking to be aggressive, and especially with Jefferson being out, the two guards got to look to score a little bit, at least in my opinion. Saxon's always going to be an option down low, and Dukas is really good when he gets the ball in his hand, especially from three, but Mahaney's the one guy, maybe aside from Marshallonis, got a little wiggle to his game and can look to be more aggressive. Does he need to be more aggressive? Are you happy kind of with the balance that he's had? Because he was really looking to get after it against Gonzaga.
No, I think you're right on the first statement. That I think that's his best he's played, maybe his best game he's played in his career as far as both ends of the floor and hitting big shots. But he's had to grow too. He had some guys that could help him, just kind of protected him last year, and he was kind of just a scorer for us. But he's more than that. He's a complete player now. He guards and he rebounds and he takes better shots, and he's seeing the best defender every night. So he has gotten better. We do need him to score. We don't need him to we're a very balanced team. This team is very balanced, and so we need him to be our scorer, but we don't need him to feel like he's got to jack up a shot every time. And he's kind of figuring that out. He takes less bad shots. He's shot good percentages since halfway through the year, and he's a really good shooter, and he shot it like he can shoot it. Maybe even a little better in that game. He hit some tough shots. He sure hit some big shots when we needed him down the stretch in that game.
Hell, the toughest shot he hit didn't even count. Came after the buzzer sounded right in front of the bench. Now that was a shot.
Yes, it was. He hit some deep ones, though. Big ones.
Yep.
Big ones. We need him. He hit some big shots. So he was great. He was really into the game. Pretty cool.
Now, I've spent time talking about the guards, but Saxon has been fantastic all year long, defensively, offensively. Like, the guards are really good, but it seems like the hub of the offense is Saxon. Like, you work a lot off him, especially down on that right block. He's got a good left hand rolling hook, good right hand pump fakes. Is he the guy you'd look to go to kind of get the offense started?
Yeah, he's always an option. Like, we pretty much play off those guards and those on balls, penetrate and kick, use the on balls, and then pump it in the post. And let's play from there. That's kind of how we play. We've had to adjust a little because we lost Jefferson due to his injury, and now we're playing Forbes and Saxon. It's kind of like playing 2 5s a little bit. So the Forbes isn't really a stretch guy, but he's a good player. So we had to figure it out, and so now we play a lot of short roll with Saxon and play through the middle of the defense, especially how Gonzaga and Santa Clara guarded us in the tournament. It kind of doubled our guards and on balls. So we've gotten better there. Saxon's got better there. He's more than just a low post guy. He catch it in the middle floor and kick out or take it right back into another on ball and roll. So he's a pretty smart player, and he's starting to learn to play out on the floor, which has helped us as we had to adjust to playing with he and Mason as our starters.
Talking to the head coach of the St. Mary's Gales, Randy Bennett, who's going to be heading to the tournament next week. What did the loss of Jefferson mean to you? I know, aside from the obvious, that it shortens the rotation now a little bit, but I'm wondering like how you've had to adjust with him not being available the rest of the year.
Yeah, he was more of he was really coming on too, but he was more of he can really pass. He's more of a stretch 4, and so we could play through him more out on the floor. He wasn't a great shooter, but he could keep you honest, and then we could play off him. He could just penetrate, or he could back you down, and he's good at recognizing where the help's coming from, and that's where probably the best thing he does. So we lost that piece, and so we lost an option of another way for us to generate offense. And so then we had Mason. We put Mason in. Mason probably makes us better defensively. Pretty close on the boards. Mason's tough, and he's a good athlete and gives us rim protection. But he's not as versatile. He's not as good you can't play through him as well out on the floor. So we've had to adjust that. Instead of playing 4 out, we end up being 3 out. We end up ducking our 4 more than spacing him, and if that makes sense. But it was an adjustment. I think knock on wood, I think we've gotten good at I think we're 6-1. So we played 7 games since Joshua went out. I think we're kind of adjusted as a team. We have a little different identity, but I think we have enough sample size now to know what works and what doesn't work, and our guys gain some confidence by this tournament, playing well. And Gonzaga's a good team.
Yeah,
we can beat them. That's a pretty good win. You're not going to see many teams better than them. Every year we go through a season, they're like. Last year was different because we saw UConn, but usually that's the best team we see every year, and hopefully it is this year.
Yeah. I know this is football, not basketball, but what has all the realignment meant to the WCC and college basketball, if anything? I know the Big 12's been sniffing around with Gonzaga. I don't know if that'll ever happen, but what has all this meant? And does it affect you? Does it affect the conference at all? I know BYU left. They were there for a couple years, and they left to go to the Big 12. I mean, how do you see all this?
Yeah, I don't know if I know. Like, I don't. It's too early. I know that it blew up the West. So
You think? My
Nobody
conference is gone. There's no more conference.
It's crazy, and it's upside down. I don't know what it all means. I think eventually it's gonna right itself, and you'll have a Power 5 conference in the West again. It just doesn't make sense the other way. It doesn't make sense for Stanford and Cal to be out in the ACC and Oregon and Washington and whoever else in the Big 10 and the rest in the Big 12. But for right now, this is weird. Mountain West and WCC are the two power conferences in the West in basketball. So I can only approach it 1 year at a time right now. I don't know what. I think everybody thinks it might get down to 3 big-time football conferences. I don't know, 3. It's at 4 now. I don't know. I don't know the answer.
So you're saying Stanford and Cal in the ACC has a weird ring to it?
It makes no sense.
I mean,
we all know it makes no sense, yet we're doing it.
Stanford going to Wake and NC State for a road trip. Yeah, that's logical. That makes a ton of sense. Well, we all know now it's about, just flat out about the money. And here's the one thing, I don't know if you'll agree, but the NCAA has never had strong enough leadership to get this thing together. And finally the networks just stepped in and said, well, we'll take it then. We're going to get the teams that give us the best ratings, and we're going to put them all together, and we'll have great football matchups, because they don't care that much about basketball, and they certainly don't care anything about anything after basketball. I mean, I don't care what they say. They don't care anything about that. And it's really all football driven, all networks driven, and it's just the NCAA never – I don't even know what their purpose was, but one thing they didn't do was have like one strong enough leader to figure out how to keep all this together, and it's too bad, because, again, the conference I get rooting for, I played in that conference. It's gone. 100 years of history is like, poof, see ya. It's the weirdest thing still.
It is. I don't think – I just don't think anybody likes it. So, not in the West. I don't like it. No conference really like that. So, as far as we all know, we need the pack. And, like I said, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't think it stays this way, but I couldn't give you a time frame. But
I'm super pumped about the Arizona Central Florida matchup next year. Jacked.
I'll be there too. I can't make much of it.
That one's going to be great. That one's for blood. That one's personal. That one. Oh my gosh.
That'll be a tough ticket.
How important would it be? I mean, obviously for the WCC, you don't want to see Gonzaga go to the Big 12 and play basketball. What would that mean to the league? Because you guys are the top 2 dogs. You have been. BYU was there for a little bit, and last year was probably, a little bit better. Santa Clara was a little bit better. Pepperdine was a little bit better. This year is a little bit down, except for maybe the top 2. But obviously that would be a big hit if they decided to leave. No question. No, let's not think about that. Okay, we could think about you winning conference championship year after year.
We'll be trying to piggyback with them. I don't know what will happen. I do think this is what's happening. I can tell you this much. Is NIL stuff, teams that are, if people think the NIL is going away, it's not going away. And so you're either doing it or not. And if you're not doing it, you're irrelevant. And if you are doing it, you better figure out to what extent, because it's just like a resource. So it's like having whatever, a big arena or a big recruiting budget or flying charter planes. If you're not doing it, you're gonna maybe for 1 year you can shock the world, but you're not gonna be able to sustain it. So
Yeah.
And you see it already. We've never had more 30 and 40-point wins in my career, I think, and it's because you have to get players, and then you have to coach them, and you got to do it. You just got to take it 1 year at a time. Right now, that's kind of my approach: is get good players, and coach the heck out of them. Don't worry about anything else, and then you can reset the next year. But you now have NIL. You're not going to be able to keep your good players, and you're probably not. You can't go in the portal and get them. They're more expensive there.
Yeah.
So it's almost like having scholarships. You have scholarships to get players. Well, now you have to have an NIL to get and keep players. And I'm not a fan of doing it like this. But you got to adapt. This is the way it is, and can't tell those kids that it's not good for them. Shoot, they like it, and you got to wrap your head around it, deal with it, and try and do it in a way where you don't ruin your program or lose your program. It's as tough a thing to deal with as anything we've had to deal with in coaching. Probably, I know in my 23 years, it is for sure.
Hey, what do you say? What do you say we do this again once we find out who you're playing? Maybe we'll find out what your schedule is next Tuesday, Wednesday, and we'll get you on and kind of break down who you're playing and where you're playing and all that kind of fun stuff.
Sounds like a great deal. Hopefully, we'll get a 16 seed, and we can talk a lot.
Good luck with that.
Hopefully, we're playing 16 seed.
Have a good weekend, Coach.
I'll talk to you. See you.
All right, that's head coach of the St. Mary's Gales, Randy Bennett. Coming up, more Copes and Tolbert here on the Sports Leader.
The 49ers don't have to worry about Aaron Donald anymore as the three-time Defensive Player of the Year announced his retirement today after 10 NFL seasons. More on that story trending, KNBR.com and the KNBR app.
They're Tolbert and Copes, or Tom Tolbert and Adam Copeland if you want to be formal about it. Got Google Nest? If so, listen to the sports leader at home. This is KNBR 104.5 and 680. Time to make those weekend wagers. Who you want to bet your Benjamins on? We got you covered with tips and picks. Sponsored by Twin Pine Casino and Hotel. Now here's Tolbert and Copes on KNBR.
Tips and Picks is sponsored by Twin Pine Casino and Hotel. Celebrate Twin Pine Casino and Hotel's 30th anniversary all year long in Lake County, California, where every visit is a winning experience. Tolbert and Copes with you on a Friday afternoon. A Ska Friday, I would hope, at some point. But we do have some tips and picks for you before we have a conversation with Michael Thompson coming up at 4:50 with the Lakers and Warriors tomorrow. But the music you hear there, the second best NCAA tournament song out there, behind One Shining Moment. We'll do tips and picks on the number one seeds. Why don't we do this, Tom? A little preview into the tournament. Who's your money on, or right now, do you have some favorites to be the 4 number one seeds when the brackets come out on Selection Sunday?
I think 1 through 3 will be Arizona.
Arizona.
4. No, it's probably going to be Houston, UConn, for sure. And then after that, maybe North Carolina. And Tennessee or Arizona?
Purdue?
Tennessee, I would have put my money on Tennessee, but they got whacked today by Mississippi State. I mean, just hammered. From the jump, got hammered. So, could be Arizona. Could be Tennessee. But I'm thinking, did I miss Purdue?
You missed Purdue,
I missed
yeah.
Purdue.
I'm sick and tired of losing to Purdue.
Yeah. Purdue, Houston, and UConn. You lock those in. So after that, it's probably North Carolina, Arizona, and Tennessee are probably vying for the last the one. But I think since Tennessee lost today, they might drop down to 2. Although I don't know how highly or how much weight they put into the conference tournaments. But if Purdue were to win,
the SEC tournament's pretty good because it depends on your tournament, probably.
Yeah, I mean, if Purdue wins the Big Ten tournament, well, they don't even need to win it. I should be mentioning North Carolina. If they win the ACC tournament, maybe they get it. Arizona wins the Pac-12 tournament. I don't think that'd be weighted as much as the ACC because the Pac-10's weak this year. And I thought Tennessee had a good chance if they were to at least get to the finals of the SEC tournament because the SEC is pretty good this year. They actually have some.
It's a deep conference.
It does all
become
come
a basketball
back.
conference all of a sudden, like the
flat,
last decade. It's crazy.
Time's a flat circle. It just comes back around. Because I remember a few years ago. Yeah, the SEC was brutal.
Yeah,
terrible. And now the SEC is going to have, Kentucky will be a high seed. Tennessee will be a high seed. Florida will make the tournament. South Carolina is going to make the tournament.
Went to the Final Four as a 7 a few years ago, didn't they?
Yeah. And they have some good
Alabama's
teams.
going to make it, yeah.
Yep, Alabama's going to make it. They have some good teams in the SEC. So, yeah, I would say between those 3 teams, North Carolina, Tennessee, and Arizona, although I would put Tennessee a little lower now that they lost. They didn't just lose either. They got smashed by the Bulldogs. So
they shot 30% in the game today. So
yeah, they couldn't do anything, and I liked them too. I was like, God, maybe I'll put some money on them, like just $100. I always put like 100 on Arizona.
How do you bet the tournament? How do you wager the tournament?
Just game by game. I usually don't do like Sweet 16s or Final Fours, stuff like that. I just usually go game to game. Maybe I'll pick 2 teams to win the whole thing, and it's not going to be one of the first 3 I mentioned because they're going to be the lowest odds. Purdue, Houston and UConn will probably be the 2 favorites, I would think, because those teams are good. But Purdue's solid too. Edie's really good. They had a good team around them. And remember what happened last time? A number 16 beat a number 1. They won the tournament the next year. Virginia went out. Was it University, Maryland, Baltimore County,
UMBC,
Yep. BC.
That's my favorite. The Great Danes. That's my favorite video. Sam Hustis used to work here at KNBR Digital. Sent me after that. It was like a casino. I sent you that video, and there's like 3 guys in UMBC t-shirts carrying one other guy. It's like it's not a crowd, but people are like following them around because it looks funny. And he's wearing a dog mask, like a Great Dane dog mask on his head, and they're chanting UMBC. But then it happened again.
The best chant
didn't
of all
happen
time.
since then? Hasn't it happened?
Best chant of all time is Austin P. Let's go P. Let's go P. Let's go P. You cannot beat that. Yeah, they lost, and the next year they won it. Next year Virginia won it. So Let's see if Purdue.
But it happened last year too. Purdue was the one that lost last year to Fairleigh Dickinson.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Maybe they come back.
Oh, you're
and
saying
win
they come
this year,
back
like
okay.
Virginia did. Maybe, but it's Purdue, so they probably won't.
No, they'll get bounced in the second.
They usually disappoint.
It's like Georgetown.
That's probably why I won't take Tennessee. That's the one thing you can count on a couple of things. You can count on the salmon swimming upstream, the swallows going back to. I don't even know where they go back to anymore. I don't think they go back to Capistrano anymore. I don't think they go back there. I read a story on that. Maybe I watched a show, Michael Thompson preview. I don't know that they go back there. And then Rick Barnes screwing up come NCAA tournament time. You can always count on those things. So I'm like, do I really want to take Tennessee? Because I like their team. They got a good team. Like Ziegler and Connect are really good guards. Jones is. I just like their team. They're big, run the court, and they defend. But I'm like, do I really want to put money on Barnes? I don't think I do. And another Barnes Orange team. Nah, I've tried that before with Texas.
He's like, I already have the ties. I'll just keep them.
Never worked out. So I'm not.
I got the ties. I may as well join. I may as well go to Tennessee.
I can't go with them. I'll try to pick somebody though. Just I don't know though. Like I don't know who I want to go with. Like I like Kentucky because their offense is good, but boy, their defense is wrong.
They're playing right now, right? Kentucky.
I like them because they can score.
No, about to.
But boy, if they're missing threes, they can look awful. And they just keep jacking them up, too. Like Houston against the Warriors. Like, hey, we're going to make them sooner or later. No, you're not. And you're going to lose because of it. So they don't really have much of a plan B down in Tuscaloosa. It's, play fast, jack threes, and hope a decent percentage of them go in. Arizona, I don't know. I don't know if they shoot it well enough. Like, Ballo's a really good big guy. If Love gets rolling, transfer from North Carolina, who was on the championship team when they won a couple years ago. When he gets going, like shooting the ball, they could be pretty dangerous. Boswell, when he gets going, then they have another perimeter shooter. But I just don't know. I've seen games where they haven't shot it all that well. It's funny because Kansas isn't very good this year, and now they got like two guys injured. I don't know if they'll be back by tournament time. I think McCullers was one of them, and I forget who the other guy, that starter was out. So, yeah, I mean, I've been trying to watch
Dickinson,
hoops.
says Tim.
I think it was Dickinson. Yeah, their big guy. The
Connor Dickinson?
Michigan. Yeah.
Hunter Dickinson, excuse me. Hunter Dickinson. Super reporter.
Super reporter.
Big man down and they're falling in the standings.
I know Illinois is pretty good, but I haven't seen them play, so I don't know much about them. North Carolina is pretty good. They're starting to play pretty good ball, so they might be somebody I look at if you get decent enough odds to maybe see if. Thing about the betting attorney though, you want to win obviously, but you don't want to bet on certain teams. Like I don't want to root. Like I don't care how good odds Duke had. I couldn't bet on them. I can't root for Duke. I just can't do it. Won't do it. Refuse to do it. Refuse to root for Duke.
The thing to me in the tourney is like the way I would bet and the way I like to bet is, what frustrates me is I've been doing it for years too, is you always find nuggets and notes out like during the game where you're like, God, well, why didn't I know this about this random mid-major team that nobody's seen ever as a 14 seed until we're into the game. Like, remember when Mercer knocked off Duke? They were a 15, they beat a 2.
Yep. I
was in Vegas for that, and I remember I remember it was like early in the game, they're like, 3 of the Mercer starters have played every game together since middle school. I was like, I would have liked to know this.
Yeah.
Before I bet Duke. You know what I mean? Like, before I picked Duke, I would have been graded. I don't care what the spread is. I don't care what. These guys played every game together since 5th grade. I'll roll some bones on that. I could throw some dice on that,
that's what I'll look at, though. Like, when I'm looking at from a handicapping standpoint, from a game-to-game standpoint, because I don't know a lot of these teams. I couldn't pick out any guy in their team. I'll look for seniors and teams that can make threes, and if they're getting points, because I know if you're getting threes, you're probably going to be overmatched on the interior. You just are. I mean, those small teams don't have big guys that can play all that well.
Don't forget, this is from a guy who played in the Final Four. Like, everybody's listening to this. Like, you've experienced what we're talking about here, and the legitimate playoff atmosphere, the winner go home. What's bigger, making threes or making free throws?
I would say threes nowadays. Back when I played, it was free throws probably, although we had the best three-point shooter in the game, in Steve Kerr. And then Craig McMillan was pretty damn good too, and Sean could shoot a little bit. Like, we were very well rounded. We were inside, outside. Thanks. We could do. You're welcome.
It's always just hanging out in there waiting.
But nowadays, I would say threes. Like, you got to be able to hit some threes. You just do, especially if you're a lower seed, like one from a smaller conference. It's the only way you can kind of equal things out a little bit. You got to hope to get some turnovers. You got to hope they have a off game maybe. And you got to hit threes because you just can't do enough in the interior. You don't have enough there, and they're going to impose their will at some point. So you have to be able to hit threes. So I look for teams that hit, 36% of their threes or above. Maybe have one or two guys on the team that can hit 40% of their threes. And look, I'm not talking about winning the game per se. I'm talking about teams that are getting 8 or more points that I feel like can kind of hang in there. And if they catch a game where they hit 14 threes and they get rolling in a game, maybe they can hang in there. But that's kind of what I'm looking for. Like last year when Farley Dickinson beat Purdue, I didn't have that one. But as you were watching the game, you could see the way they played. They played fast. They were quick. Purdue not particularly fast, not particularly quick, and they just kind of, and then you got them behind, and Purdue started pressing, and that absolutely happens to these higher seeds. They get behind in the second half. They're
kids, dude. They start freaking out. They're like, what the hell's going on, dude?
You start getting.
I got math test tomorrow.
And think like, oh my god, what are we doing? What? How are they in this game? And then about the 10-minute mark, every shot they take feels like the last shot of the game. Like, you have to make this shot. You have to make it. And there are teams out there just like, woo, just like, hey, let's shoot this three. Let's go for that three. Let's do this. Yeah, just house money. And it's rough. And that's the great thing about the tournament is we know, for the most part, who's going to be there at the end. Like, within like 10 to 12 teams. You know who's going to be there at the end. But it's still fun watching some of these teams get upset in the first round. That's what makes the tourney the tourney. That's why people say, and they're never wrong, the tourney always delivers. Because there's so many games, you're going to get some great finishes. You're going to get some upsets.
Yeah.
You're going to get some teams.
There's so much variance. Dude, it's like we talked.
Seeds,
it's like we said with starting pitching in the playoffs. Like, it's the most variance because there's 5. Like, there's teams that'll never see each other. Never. Like, dude, remember we were talking about Stephen F. Austin? Remember that team? They had that coach who was out there. He had like the cold sore in his lip, dude. He was like all so disheveled. I was like, who hit this guy's like, he might teach at the school also, right? He's like working a couple of jobs. It's a small school. Anyway, it was crazy that they were able to get as far as they did. I think they were a 12 or a 13, and they made it to they might have gone Sweet 16. I think they were deep into the Sweet 16 game and had a shot at an upset. But did you see
great stories.
Did you see, as we're wrapping up tips and picks here, did you see our guy Brian Smith texted this over, I guess, during the Iona and who are they playing today? It's going to be not Iona, UConn against St. John's. It's going on right now. They both, both Bobby Hurley and Rick Pitino at one point in the game in a heated exchange, both got simultaneous technical fouls.
With those two, hard to believe.
Yeah. So
I'm not buying it.
So Brian Smith, former producer of the show, he texted in, he said, dude, Rick Pitino had his team walk 5 blocks to Madison Square Garden rather than take the bus.
You got to earn wheels.
Dude. He made him walk it. That's hysterical, man.
You got to earn the wheels with Rick Pitino. Remember, it was, about 2 weeks ago where he just laid the team out?
Yeah.
Just laid them out and then had to walk it back a little bit. But whatever he said resonated because they've been playing some pretty damn good ball ever since.
The resume's a little shoddy, and I think they're going to get in.
Yeah, they'll be close.
They're like 21-12, but they're like 11-9 in conference or something.
Yeah, it's going to be. Although the Big East is pretty good. I mean, the Big East has some good teams, but I still, college basketball isn't what it once was. I think we all know that. And watching it as a steady diet throughout the entirety of the season, it's not really for me anymore. It's just the quality isn't quite as good, but. I love the tourney. I mean, the tourney is just, there's so much basketball. Thursday and Friday, the first weekend.
Time.
Thank you,
It's
Rob.
the best North American sporting event. Yeah, it's the best individually run. Super Bowl's different. It's all court. Like, it's just a different beast because nobody's, again, unless you went to the school, and even if you did and your team's out of it, you enjoy the tourney. You know what I mean? Like, you're still into the tournament for what the tournament is. It's the best North American sporting event. I think it's the best way to put it.
Oh, God.
It's the best thing by far that the NCAA does. Not even close. They can't even come up. Okay, not even close.
The educating is good, dude. The educating of young minds, molding of young minds.
Well, you know, most of them go pro in something other than basketball.
Yeah, they're getting an education.
I don't know if you know that.
They're getting an education, man.
Most of us go pro in something other. Shut up.
Look at you.
Let's get on with the
You
tournament.
did it. You're in that pile.
I don't care. What are you, a teacher?
You were an actor.
Get out of here.
You were an actor.
Beat it.
Tolbert and Coast with you. That was tips and picks for, I don't know what we picked. That was tips and picks there for Friday.
Arizona.
March 15th.
Bear down. Let's go. That's our pick.
Bear down. You went to Purdue, Houston, UConn. You said maybe UNC could get that one as well. There we go. Hey, save that. Save that. Come on. Save that. Put that away. Give me some ska. All right, when we come on back, how about this? Steph Curry's going to play tomorrow for the Golden State Warriors against the Lakers down in L.A. Steve Kerr met with the media. He talked a little bit about, this was today, about how he's approaching looking at this last sort of month and a half of games here, where is it game by game? Is he mapping things out? You've got a couple of injuries now with some veteran players in Steph and Draymond. We've got Steve Kerr's comments on how they're mapping out the end of this season, and also Charles Barkley's comments on the play-in tournament, a takedown by Charles Barkley. That's next on the Sports Leader. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Adam Copeland here yet again, reminding you that Westside Promotions is back in the Bay Area, bringing you a historic night of boxing for St. Paddy's Day weekend. It's going down tomorrow, March 16th, showcasing 2 huge title fights and an action-packed undercard. First time in history that the Irish Celtic title will be fought for in the United States. Again, this Saturday, tomorrow, March 16th, current Irish champion Craig McCarthy will be facing up-and-coming Irish sensation Tommy Hyde for the Irish Celtic super middleweight title. 2016 Russian Olympian Peter Kamakov, who's 11-0, is going to be fighting for the vacant National Boxing Association middleweight title against a very tough opponent in Von Alexander out of St. Louis. Westside Promotions is doing a great job of bringing professional boxing back to the Bay Area. It's been awesome in the last couple of years. They recently had 2 big WBC title fights in 2023, and they've got a lot of top talent signed up to be showcased throughout 2024. Tickets for this event can be purchased at westside-promotions.com.
Listen to the sports leader anywhere, anytime. Download the all-new KNBR app. Now, Tolbert and Copes continue live from the KNBR Casino Matrix Studio. Casino Matrix Progressive Jackpots are here. Where are you? Just drop in. Please play responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Feels like passive-aggressive ska, but I'll take it. Tolbert and Copes on a Friday afternoon. Warriors in action against the Lakers tomorrow, and Steph Curry is going to return. That's the announcement from earlier today. We will talk to Michael Thompson. We'll be on the call for the Lakers and Warriors tomorrow, as well as Clay's dad. So we'll talk to him about that game in about 15 minutes and about the two seasons that have, I won't say mirrored each other, but they've kind of been battling each other really since the early part of the season when the Warriors tried to mount the comeback and get back over 500. That double overtime loss was right in the middle of that thing. Steve Kerr met with the media today and talked about how he's looking at the remaining schedule for the Warriors. Does he map this thing out, or is it day by day? Here's Steve Kerr.
You can't worry about it. I mean, we look at them every day, obviously, but there's nothing we can do about that. But, the season, it really is a marathon. And at any point in the season, you rattle off 10 wins in a row, then that matters. Whether it's in the beginning or the end, it doesn't matter. And I still have no doubt that this team can get on a great run and make a good push.
Tom, you can translate for us. You speak Steve Kerr.
Mm-hmm.
Is he looking ahead at all, or is he what he's saying true?
No, I think what he's saying is true. You just worry about the game in front of you. And look, you do that through the entire season, so it's nothing different. You guys don't even know who they're playing next week. It's who we playing tonight. Okay, let's get after it. Who you playing tonight? Let's get after it. So no, they're not looking ahead. They're not looking at schedules of other teams. They're just going, okay, let's take care of our business. And he's right. I mean, if you get hot at any time of the year, it all counts the same. It all goes in the left side of the ledger. But 10 in a row, maybe pushing it. That seems a little for a team that. What's the longest winning streak they had this year? Maybe 7. I know they had 8 on the road at one point.
Yeah, that was different. But you just mean straight wins.
Yeah, I'm thinking straight wins. I mean, I'm thinking maybe 6.
Wasn't last year like 4, 3? Didn't they have it wasn't very many last year?
I don't know.
Maybe 5 or something.
It seemed back in the day, they'd have like 3 10-game winning
13,
streaks.
12, and 10. Yeah, somewhere in there.
Exactly. That was like the Spurs every year. You can count on the Spurs every year to have a 10-game winning streak. And so, I just don't know that they're that good. They're not that good, not that consistent to have 10 wins. What they have to do from here on out, and they haven't even done this recently, is win the games you're supposed to win. You were supposed to win San Antonio at home. You're supposed to win that game. I know there was no Steph, but there was no Wembanyama, there was no Vassell. That's a game you should win. That's a game you look back on and go, that one we should have had. Chicago, maybe. I won't say that's one you should win because Chicago was playing well at the time. They had just come off a win against Utah. Who else did they beat? I know they battled the Clippers after they played the Warriors. Oh, they beat the Kings. Beat the Kings in Sacramento. So they've been playing well. So that one I didn't look at as that one you have to win. But they had their chances. They were up at the end. And, the DeRozan shot and Kuminga fouls him and goes to the free throw line, hits it, and Podziemski misses a layup. So that's one they could have had. I didn't put it in the should have had category. But San Antonio was absolutely a should have had that game. So whatever games they have coming down the stretch, and I'll take a look at them here in a minute. Like there's going to be some toss-ups. Some where you're favored, you lose. Some where you're underdogs, and you win. But you go down the schedule right now. Lakers toss-up, home against the Knicks. I mean, that's when you need to win if they're still injured. Home against the Grizzlies. Got to have that one. Yeah. That's you need to put that one in the win column. That's like Joe Angel, thank you.
In the win column.
Pacers, all right, 50-50. At T-Wolves, probably 50-50. At Heat, tough one. At Magic, tough one. At Hornets, got to get it, period. That's just at Spurs, got to get that one. So that's 3 that you just have to get.
How about this 7-game roadie coming up right in the middle of the middle of this month, or end of this month and into next month?
Yeah, it's a rough one.
After the 3-game homestand, after the Laker game, like Tom said, you get 3 at home next week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Knicks, Memphis, and Indy. Then they hit the road for 7.
Mm-hmm.
Minnesota, Miami, Orlando on a back-to-back, Charlotte, San Antonio, Dallas, Houston. And it's 7 games in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 days. That's a rough stretch.
I think but don't they have don't they play the Mavericks at home?
Oh, I'm sorry. They come back home for the one, I forgot that, the makeup Mavericks
go to
game.
Houston.
So then they go to Houston.
At Mavericks. Yeah,
so is
that's
where do they, what's the date of that game, the one they wedge in?
The 2nd. So
April
the 31st is in San Antonio. Then they come back home the 2nd of the Mavericks. Then they fly back to Texas and play at Houston at Mavericks because of the makeup game. So that that's just one you got to make up. They skipped it.
Nice. It's not a 7-game roadie as originally scheduled, so they get one more in there. But then it's 8 games in, in 13 days or something.
And those are the worst. Those are the worst.
Just come back home because you're not even home.
1-game homestand. Those suck. Like for a player, you want to feel like, oh, we're back home. But you know in your mind you're not back home. You're just back home. Boom, you're back on the road. Like they'll fly back the 1st. And after playing San Antonio, get one night in their bed, Mavericks, another night in your bed, and then back out on the road the 3rd to go play Houston and then back to back Houston, Dallas, 4th and 5th.
How about a Texas swing just to kick you in the pearls too, just for fun?
Yeah,
San Antonio, Dallas, and Houston. It's not. I mean, it's not what it used to be. Remember when the Texas swing used to be the Spurs with like Duncan and Ginobili and Parker. It was Dallas with Dirk and all them, and then it was Houston. This isn't quite as difficult, but because of the way the schedule lines up, like, I don't want to say it's make or break, but it really will be that part of the season. That stretch of games could decide where they are heading into that game against Utah at home, which is, again, that's awful, man. For one more at home against Utah, then back on the road for 2 more, then home for 2 more. The end of this schedule is, while the opponents are not incredibly difficult, like I think they still have the 5th or 6th weakest opponent schedule or weakest opponent win percentage for remaining schedule. But the way it lines up is just tough.
Yeah, it's a tough. Those are brutal.
That's why Steve's not looking ahead.
Guys are just. Guys are. When I was a player, we'd just say, just keep us on the road for 2 more games. I mean, this schedule stinks. Fly all the way home. I mean, you're flying all the way home from San Antonio, about a 2-hour and 45-minute flight. Then you play the Mavericks and you get back on the plane and fly all the way back to Houston. It's like, I mean, look, and it wasn't scheduled that way. So we should point that out. It wasn't scheduled that way because of the death of Decky, that they didn't play at Utah and didn't play in Dallas. So I get it, and it is what it is, but it doesn't make it any more fun to come back home and play and then go back out on the road and play. And it stinks, too, that it is against Dallas.
Yeah.
Like, you're chasing Dallas. So you got to come back home. So you're playing Dallas after a long road trip. Those games can be tough. Then you go back out on the road, and the next time you play Dallas is a back-to-back. Now, the travel isn't far, but it's still back-to-back. And I should look this up, because every time I think of Texas swing.
Wait, hold on. They're playing on the 2nd? They're not playing 3 days in a row then, are they?
No, they're playing 2nd, 4th, 5th.
2nd, 4th, 5th. I got you. Okay, they moved that one back. I got you.
So they get the third off.
Gotcha, okay.
I'll have to look this up. I think Bernard King one time had 50 points on the Texas swing. I think he had 3
like all 3?
I think he had 3 50-point games in a row.
That's wild.
On the Texas swing. I'll have to look that up. Because every time I think of Texas swing, I think of Bernard King. And I'm pretty sure I think of it for a reason. And I think that reason was he had 50 points in every game. And 50 points was a little different back then because there was no 3-ball back then. So getting to 50 was a little more difficult back in the day.
Derek said it was back-to-back games, not 3 in a row.
Is that what it was, back-to-back? Who was it? Was it Houston and Dallas maybe, or Houston and San Antonio?
San Antonio and Dallas he did it against.
Okay. I had 3 teams to choose from. I took 2 options, got both of them wrong.
Oh, tough deal.
I got a kick in the beans.
We got one. Yeah, nice. We got one more piece of sound here. Charles Barkley. We were talking about the play-in earlier. Here's Charles Barkley. Yes. Now he's been hating on the Warriors and the Lakers for a little while. Well, he's been hating on the Warriors forever, but specifically this season on the quality of teams that they are. He's like, they're not playoff teams. They're not playoff teams. He's been saying this for weeks. Here he is last night.
The West is going to go down to the wire. I mean, plain and simple. It's going to be fun to watch. You know, our sister network on the idiots on the other network keep talking about the Lakers and the Warriors like they got a chance. But Listen.
You have a chance to call the play-in.
The play-in is not a real thing, just for the record. That's just something we made up, Shaq. It's just like the CBI tournament. That's what the Lakers Warriors.
Oh, God, you already in college basketball.
CBI.
Man, is CBI not
making up stuff.
CBI not.
They should thank Adam. They should stop. They should thank Adam Silver for making up some stuff. Hey, let's just add a couple teams to the playoffs so the Lakers and Warriors can get in.
So, I mean, it's not like he did it mid-season here. It's not like
he did it for the Warriors and for the Lakers.
However, they did meet in the play-in game, like the first couple of years back.
I love the way he dropped CBI in there.
That was pretty good. For those who don't know, College Basketball Invitational, the third tournament that you could end up.
Still around?
I think it's still there.
Is it okay?
Oh no, it's called the CIT, isn't it?
CIT. Well, no, they have the CBI and the CIT.
Yeah, both. Is the CIT lower? That's tough.
Hell if I know. I was like, what are we doing? Like, really? We're gonna have you want to go to the CIT just for the hell of it at the end of the year? Like, get out of here.
Is he working a bit? You think? CBI still confirms Tim. Who's the one seeds there? We should do that for tips and picks. Who's the?
Yeah, go ahead.
Is he just working?
You can skip me on that.
I don't know who they are. Is he just working a bit? Is he gonna gripe? Are they quality playoff teams?
I mean, I think his gripe is the same as mine, that 9 and 10 don't belong.
But are they quality playoff teams, you think? The Warriors?
Yeah, I mean they can do. I think they're as good as like Dallas and Sacramento. They can beat teams ahead of them. Like, I think they're that type of team. It's almost like the NCAA tournament where a team gets left out. You're like, or a team makes it and people think, well, they shouldn't have made it, and they win 2 games. You're like, well, that proves they should have made it. It's like, no, it doesn't. There's other teams out there that could have won 2 games, but in this instance, there really isn't. I mean, Utah has no chance to win a series. Lakers and Warriors, however, do have a chance to win a series, I think, unless it's Denver. I think anybody but Denver, they would have a chance to advance out of the first. But that's not the point. The point is, we could say that every year. Oh, if this team got in, they could do something. Well, yeah, you had 82 games to prove it. You didn't prove it for 82 games, so you don't belong in the. It's not like the NBA invites 4 teams each conference. They invite 8. That's half the league. Like, if you can't finish in the top half of your conference, then in my opinion, you don't belong in the playoffs. Again, you had 82 games to prove you're worthy of being in the playoffs. You didn't, so you don't. But that's just not the way it is nowadays. So, whatever. I'll accept it. I've been defeated. CBI, CIT, C. Anyway,
that's a little bit on what's going on with the Warriors stuff. Back tomorrow, Lakers and Warriors on a Saturday evening, duking it out for the 9 and 10 seeds. If that's important, All right, when we come on back, how about this? Michael Thompson will be on the call for the Lakers, former world champion, former or NBA champion, former number 1 overall pick.
You just can't watch shoot-'em-up, car-chasing, nudie movies.
And a guy who loves his Hallmark movies. We'll get into it.
Nudie movies.
Come on, Tom.
I love the way he says that.
You want to stay tuned. We talked to him earlier because we thought the Giants game was going to be on, so we spoke to Michael Thompson earlier. Let's get on Tom.
Nudie movies.
Tom should stop reading and watch more TV. Michael Thompson.
Stop reading.
Knock it off, Tom. Just watch some History Channel. Save some time.
Damn it.
Tolbert and Copes. Michael Thompson joins us next on the Sports Leader. The 49ers restructured George Kittle's contract, saving them $10 million in cap space. Find out more on that deal. Trending, KNBR.com and the KNBR app.
Hey, everybody. Mr. T here for Xfinity. You want more speed? Of course you do. Well, you're in luck because Xfinity just increased their internet speeds. That's right. They're faster than ever. Plus, with electric, super fast internet and a reliable connection, everybody can do more of what they love. Well, yeah, including you. I mean, you're number one. It's more about you, but you don't want to hear people whining, do you? The gamers, games, the downloading, the streaming. No, everybody's taken care of. Video chatting. What is that? I have no idea. Somebody does it, apparently. They'll be taken care of. That means they're not bothering you. Everyone, even people that are working, maybe even going to school. Yeah, I know, huh? School? What is that? But they can do that as well. Thing is, everyone's taken care of on any device, whether it's phones, tablets, TVs. Everyone's good to go. It's time to get speed. It's time to get more speed. Get 300 megabit Xfinity internet for only $25 a month with no annual contract and Wi-Fi equipment included. That's 50% more speed for the same great price. Go to Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit an Xfinity store today. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Taxes and other charges extra. After promo, regular rates apply. Actual speeds vary and are not guaranteed. You love sports, you love high def, you love speed and reliability. You'll have more speed at the same price. You will love Xfinity.
The guy was coming out of an antique clock shop, and he had this big grandfather's clock, and he bumped into this drunk, fell down, busted the clock all to pieces, and he got up and said, "Why don't you watch where you go at?" The drunk said, "Why don't you wear a wristwatch like everybody else?"
Listen to the sports leader anywhere, anytime. Download the all-new KNBR app. Now, Tolbert and Copes continue live from the KNBR Casino Matrix Studio. Casino Matrix progressive jackpots are here. Where are you? Just drop in. Please play responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Let's talk a little hoops with a former NBA champ, number 1 overall pick, and color analyst for the Los Angeles Lakers, Michael Thompson. Michael, what's going on? How are you today?
I'm doing well, excited as the season's winding down and seeing everybody. You know, the playoffs have really started now because even from 1 through 10, everybody's positioning for seeding. So the playoffs have already started depending on where guys want to finish up and who they want to match up with.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Do you think that happens? Do you think teams actively look for softer landing spots toward the end? Or, I mean, some teams don't have that opportunity, but do you think if they do, coaches will kind of manipulate it, or they just play it out and see what happens?
You got to play it out. Okay, you can't mess around with the karma and try to manipulate because something bad will happen. But for sure, guys look at teams look at, boy, who's the better matchup because their style, like for instance, like the Lakers have the Thunder's number. Meanwhile, the Nuggets seem to have the Lakers number. So yeah, you prefer certain matchups if you're a player, no question about it.
Let me ask you before we get to it, because the Lakers and the Warriors are two of the teams that are in the play-in right now. I've never been a fan of the play-in just because I think 82 games is good enough to decide who the top 8 teams are. How do you view the play-in game?
Man, what an old curmudgeon you are. I love the play-in. Are you kidding me? Now, I hate the in-season tournament. I don't get that at all.
Oh, I hate that too.
Yeah, the play-in is fun because it keeps teams and fan bases 7 through 10 engaged. Because if you're 9 and 10, you figure, well, we're out of it, so fans might get turned off. But this way, it keeps your fans interested and keeps the interest going and their passion going. You want to cut that off, Tolbert? What's wrong with you?
Why don't we just go top 12 in each conference then?
I got no problem with that. I mean,
well, let everybody in then. Let everybody in.
No, you don't let them in. If the other 3 teams on the bottom, 13 through 15, unfortunately, they won't get in. But if you want to go 12 deep, it wouldn't bother me. You got to earn your way to the top 8 anyway. If you're 7 through 12, what's the big deal?
Why are you always trying to stay hip with the kids?
No, I like to keep things interesting, and try to improve the game. Get rid of defensive 3 seconds. Get rid of call reviews. Add a 4-point arc out to 35 feet because now the guys are able to pull up from out there to keep the games fresh and exciting.
I'm with you on 2 of the 3. The 4-point shot. Come on, we can't turn this into rock and jock basketball.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? How old are you? I swear I heard that in 1979 from you when they introduced the 3-point line in the NBA.
That's an oldie but a goodie. What are you talking about?
That's exactly what people saying. No, don't add the ABA 3-point line. It's going to gimmick up the game. That's exactly what they were saying in 79.
Never said that. Well, why not have a 4-point arc and a 5-point arc and an 8-point arc?
No, 4 points, that's far enough because guys know like Damian you got so many guys now who can just comfortably shoot 35-footers. Why not? That way, if you have a 5 or 6 point lead with under a minute to go, the games are never over.
Yeah, no, I'm going to say no to that.
What about this? What if we split the difference? What if we eliminate
4.5, 3.5 points?
Well, no. I said, what if we go 4-point line, but we eliminate the corner 3 like they've talked about?
No, the corner 3, keep that. Guys can knock that. That adds to the suspense. If guys are open over there, it keeps the games intriguing. So, no, don't get rid of the corner 3. No. You want to put P.J. Tucker out of a job?
Yeah, but now we can't go with any ideas.
He is.
Yeah, well, that's it. I mean,
maybe we can have an 18-foot free throw, too.
Yeah, I tell you one thing. One thing I like to do is get rid of free throws as far as instead of 5 team fouls, put it up to 8. That way you stopped all because what's more boring than free throws in the first half? Now, free throws can be exciting when the game's on the line the last minute and you got to make 2 to secure or tie the game. But in the first quarter, do you want to see the game stop for free throws all the time because the team's now at 5 team fouls at the 5-minute mark? And now here we go. Every foul, here comes another free throw. Talk about putting people to sleep.
I'm with you on that. Those are my favorite halves of basketball that involve about 8 total free throws. Let the game go.
Yes, let the game go. And guys, have you noticed in the last couple of weeks, referees are letting more bumping going on now? So obviously, which is so much better for the game. Guys are going into the lane now looking to draw fouls, and they're not getting it, and the game just continues to flow. So finally, they stopped rewarding guys for flopping on offense.
No, it's a much better brand of basketball. There is no doubt about that. So where are you at with the
the Lakers right now. I mean, some games they play really well. Some games, I mean, I guess Sacramento's kind of had their number this year, but where are you at with them? AD's playing, and he's having a monster year. LeBron's, I mean, it's the longest prime in the history of sports, him and Tom Brady. I mean, he's just kind of the same guy. It seems like in watching the games, obviously you watch every one. I watch a lot of them. Like, D'Angelo Russell's kind of a barometer for what this team can be, how good they can be, depending on how engaged he is and how well he plays.
Yeah, we mean how well he shoots, because you're right. When he's shooting well, the Lakers can beat anybody except maybe Denver. That's the only team they've been struggling with all year. But when D'Angelo Russell's knocking down threes the way he's been doing in the last couple of months, they're a dangerous out for anybody in the playoffs.
Talking to Michael. Go ahead, Tom.
No, go ahead, Coach.
Michael Thompson here on the UMA guest line, NBA champion, and on the call for the Lakers. They'll be playing the Warriors, of course, tomorrow night, Saturday evening, in a duel for the 9 and 10. Warriors can earn a lead in the tiebreak or the other way, as they've split the first two this season. You were making the case for the play-in, and I do think that this year, just because of the quality of teams in the West, and we know who's basically going to be in, we just don't know the seeding. I think in the Western Conference this year, there is a case for the play-in being a thing because, again, the quality of teams is deep, I think, all the way 1 through 10, but nothing in the first round save a Denver Nuggets loss or elimination. Being upset in the first round would surprise me.
Yeah, you're right. Denver is clearly the favorites to come out of the West again, as long as everybody is healthy. Like I said, the only team that I think that could give Denver trouble is the Lakers because of their size and strength, and they can match up with Jokic in the middle with AD, and LeBron is still LeBron, even at 39 years of age. But you're right, the West is so well balanced. Whoever's going to be the healthiest, if the Clippers are fully healthy, they could be facing Denver in the West. The Warriors can stay healthy, get everybody in sync, and they can get their outside shooting up to par that they're capable of. They could beat anybody. So it's a wide open race in the West. 2 through 10 right now. Denver's the king in the West right now.
Yeah.
When's Vanderbilt coming back for you guys?
He should be ready maybe by first round in the playoffs, or at least by the play-in, I would imagine.
I'm a big fan of his. I think he adds so much to the team. He's 6'9", and he can guard point guards. I mean, he's just a unique player, isn't he?
Yeah, him. Cam Reddish is a little bit like him, too, and Cam has been missing a lot of games. So has been Vanderbilt. So you're right. When those two guys can go out there and harass people like Doncic and Steph and SGA, that definitely helps the Lakers' cause.
Hey, you aside from maybe Russell and Wilt, you've either played against all the great centers in the game or seen all the great centers in the game. Jokic is right there with any one of them, isn't he?
Yes, he is, but he's not the best center in the game. The best center is Embiid. When you look at both ends of the floor, yeah, Embiid's the best because he can get you 50, and he can also play great defense and guard the rim better than Jokic. Jokic isn't bad. He uses his length, but he's not going to block shots and change shots the way that Embiid can. But Embiid is just a beast. But, Jokic is a beast in his own way, too. And if you say Jokic is the best, you're not crazy. I'm not going to call you crazy. Yeah. But for me, Embiid is the most unstoppable player in the game.
Yeah, they're both absolutely incredible. Hey, what have you made of Clay's season so far this year? I know it's been rough for him, and I can only imagine how you would know this because you were one of the best in the game. I mean, when you reach the heights that he has reached, it's got to be harder, I would imagine, on the downslope, and it's probably been tough for him this year to kind of figure out who he is, what he is, and how he continues on. How tough has it been for him this year?
Clay's been, he's had his ups and downs. He'll admit that. He said it himself, but he looks like he's coming around the last couple of months and playing up to the standards that we're used to seeing him play at. He looks very comfortable coming off the bench, and if he has to start in emergency situations with Steph out, he looks comfortable obviously doing that too. So I think he's had a solid second half of the season. Even he would admit he's inconsistent in the first half, but going down the stretch and getting ready for the play-in or play-offs, he's looking really well, looking good.
Do you think you worried at all? I mean, because I was wondering, because he's so hard on himself. He's probably harder on himself than anybody that I've seen play for the Warriors in the last 8 or 10 years that I've been covering the team. He gets so down on himself. Has he always been like that? Like if things don't go the way he expects them to go, that he
like
just.
He's
go ahead.
Like all of us. We all want to do well at our jobs. He's no different from you. If you have a bad show, you're going to kick yourself or feel bad about it. It's just like every other human out there. If you're not working and say competing or producing up to your standards, whatever career you have, of course you're going to get frustrated with yourself. So he's no different from me or you or anybody else.
How did you deal with it? Were you able to leave it in the, as they say, leave it in the locker room?
No, I kept it all internal. I didn't, because obviously we didn't have you and Adam talking about us 24 hours a day on social media back then, on talk radio, on podcasts. We just had beat writers. It would come out in the morning, and that was it the rest of the day. They didn't have 24-hour coverage that these guys have to go through now. So even when we struggling, I would have, out of 82 games, I would have one bad game, Tom. I'll admit that. One bad game out of 82. And it would, of course, it would frustrate me until the next game, until I, played well or defended well or rebounded well. Obviously, everybody out there, most people look at just shooting stats if you're having a good game or not. And believe me, I've had some games, and maybe you have too, where you scored 20 points or 30 points. And I've had those kind of games where I have 35 points. But I look in the box score, I've got 2 rebounds, and I think, geez, I had a bad game. I didn't get my rebounds, even though people say, oh, you played great. You got 30 points. But I look, geez, I got my man had 28, and I got 2 rebounds, so I didn't think I played that well. So there's different standards and different you hold yourself to. But, yeah, like everybody in life, if you're not playing well or your job's not going well, you're going to get frustrated with yourself. You're a human.
Yeah. I was with you until you said 30. That's where you dropped me off there. 30 was too much for me. That would have been a great game for me. I don't care if I had 0 rebounds.
What was your career high?
27,
right? Yeah.
Wow, 27. You couldn't make that one more 3, huh?
Well, I think I scored with about 20 seconds left. I didn't have a chance.
Yeah, you should have. You should have took that last shot and infuriated the opposition. By the way,
no.
Tom, when you were a player, if you were up by 30 and took the last, if you were down 30 and the other guy took the last shot, that used to tick you off. It never bothered me.
Okay, I never wanted to. What's the deal?
I didn't care. The only thing that would upset me is if they were killing us. They're up 20. They're up 25 at the end of the game, and they come down and shoot one like with 17 seconds left on the shot clock. I'm like, you guys got enough. I mean, can't you wait until the end of the shot clock to shoot it? Like, I'm not gonna go hit somebody, but I was like, come on, have a little etiquette.
Believe me, I've been on the other side of blowouts too, and guys beating us, and it never bothered me if somebody took a shot. I figured, hey, you kicked my butt today. If I was upset about it, I should have done something about it in the first 40 minutes of the game. But I don't understand why guys are so sensitive about, oh, don't shoot the ball, you're hurting my feelings. I don't get that.
Let me ask you this. If you were, because you've been on this side plenty with the Lakers where you're killing teams. If you were up 25 with 40 seconds to go, would you have taken a jump shot with 17 seconds left on the shot clock?
No, I probably wouldn't, but one of my teammates said I wouldn't care. And like I said, if I was on the other side getting my butt whooped, I never cared about that. But I wouldn't do it because I just, at 25 points, as a matter of fact, if I'm a starter, I'm looking at the coach saying, why am I still on the floor? You knucklehead, take me out.
See, you didn't do it because you have basketball etiquette. That's why. That's why you didn't do it.
Etiquette, schmetiquette, who cares? Why are you so sensitive, Tobo? You're getting sensitive. I remember you as a young player. You were rough and tumble. What happened to you? Why you got so soft?
You just said you wouldn't have shot the ball.
I didn't care because I didn't want to be on the floor by 20. I'm mad at the coach because I'm out there.
You didn't shoot it because you knew it was wrong. That's why you didn't shoot it.
No, I didn't shoot it because I was frustrated because I was still in the – I'm talking about when I was a starter, when I was with the Blazers, and I was averaging 21 and 12. Why am I still in the game? We're up 20 with 2 minutes to go. Take me out. I'm a star.
Talking to Michael Thompson on the Umer guest line. You put out a tweet a couple hours ago after Aaron Donald retired. And I thought it was great because it's a good topic. You said Aaron Donald's pulling a Barry Sanders, retiring too soon. Then you said who else did that? Marvin Hagler. Said Jordan, but he came back. You said Wilt retired too soon. Bjorn Borg you called at 26. He called it quits. Usain Bolt at 32. You called Jim Brown at 29. The one I always think about is Sandy Koufax. He was
No, but Sandy's arm was falling off. He had to retire because of his arm.
Sure, yeah. But at the time, he was at the peak of his powers, we thought. I mean, it wasn't why.
No, he was in a lot of pain. He would have to have ice in his arm back in those days. Remember, they didn't have the modern technology as far as training back in those days. So he had a lot of arthritis in his shoulder or his arm, and he had to retire at 32 because his arm was about to fall off.
He was 30 the last time he pitched. Michael, he did 54 complete games in each of his last 2 seasons.
I know, but he was in a lot of pain. Yeah, but he was suffering. He was suffering a lot. It wasn't like he walked away and he was completely healthy.
Fair enough, yeah.
Healthy.
Well, wouldn't you say that was the same about Aaron Donald? I mean, a lot of times in football, I think guys are saving themselves a little bit, right?
Yeah, I guess so. At 32, he figures I'm getting out. I don't have any CTE to deal with. His body feels good.
Yeah.
But you're right. I think at 32, he probably going to play 2 more All-Pro years. But and walking away from what, $30 million or $60 million?
Yeah.
Well, that takes obviously he's got some good investments.
So you cover all the sports down there doing the talk shows. Let me ask you this, because I've thought about this. I can't come up with somebody. Maybe you can. I don't know that there'll be another player who retires with the stats that Barry Bonds had in his last year that wanted to play, and no one wanted him.
Well, that's because of the stain, you know.
Well, I
because of
know
the
that.
steroids and stuff. That's why, you know, he wasn't good with the media. He was sort of he isolated himself. He wasn't a good teammate, is what a lot of people are. Wasn't a good locker room guy. So because of the steroid suspicions, I think that's why most teams stayed away from him. Plus, he was 44, 45 years of age.
He was 42.
He was 42,
and
but his OPS was 1,000 that year.
1,045. He had 28 homers. Led the league in walks.
Yeah, 28 home runs. But, you know, I guess people didn't want to deal with all the luggage that came or baggage that came with it for 20, 25 home runs at that age.
No, I mean, there's no doubt that's the reason he didn't get a chance to play. So what are we going with today? We going with The Last Bridesmaid or three beds, 2 baths, and 1 ghost?
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with what's the title? Destination Marriage. That's what I'm going to go with today.
Destination Marriage.
Destination wedding. I hate those kind of things. People who get married and they make you fly someplace instead of just getting married in the local church. Don't you hate that kind of crap?
I do. They're putting the expense on me. Like, I've got to go on a trip now. Yeah. I got to use vacation days. I've got to take trips that I wasn't planning on doing this year because you decided to have an event. I'm with you. I'm not for it.
Yeah, it's so selfish that people have destination weddings.
Absolutely. This one actually is 3 stars, too. 6 out of 10 rating on IMDb. Ellie's ex, Greg, is the best man at her sister's wedding at a beach resort in Acapulco. When the bride and groom miss their planes, it's up to Ellie and Greg to make decisions concerning the wedding. So they're forced together a lot. Sounds like a meet cute.
Exactly. And at first they don't like each other at first, but by the end of as the screen fades to black, there's a kiss.
How many times have you seen that one? 2 or 3?
This will be my 5th time.
You like this one?
I'm a romantic, but you ought to try it sometime. You can't be a caveman the rest of your life.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I read. I mean, what do you want from me?
Read. What do you read? Fiction or nonfiction?
Mostly nonfiction. I like reading history books.
Well,
I'm watching. Do you have Netflix?
Well, why waste your time reading? Just turn on the History Channel.
Well, I can do that too. Okay, good job. Don't read anybody. Forget books. Just watch TV. Come on.
How long it take you to go through a book? A week? This way you turn on the History Channel, you tape it, and eliminate the commercials, you finish it in 20 minutes.
It's like reading a book in 20 minutes, Tom. What's the matter with you? You got to work. You are smarter, is what he's saying, not harder.
You're the only person that's trying to dissuade me from reading.
Yeah, you already learned. You already know how to read, so now watch it on the History Channel.
Oh my gosh!
I like this logic. I like this.
You're something else. By the way, do you like history stuff?
Oh, I love history. Are you kidding me?
Watch The Turning Point. Watch The Turning Point on Netflix. It's a 9-part documentary on the bomb in the Cold War. Really good.
I already know that stuff. I don't watch that stuff. I'm already an expert.
Watch it. You'll learn. Trust me, you'll learn. You don't know. You don't know all this stuff. You don't.
Yeah.
No, you don't.
I am fascinated. Yeah, you're right about that, Holdo, but I am fascinated by that stuff. Turning Point on Netflix. I'm going to write that down.
Turning Point on Netflix. You will enjoy it.
It's better than the book, too, Michael. It's way better than the book.
Much better.
Of course, because I don't have to look at the words. I can just look.
Exactly, dude.
I don't know. You seem like a closed caption guy to me.
No, I can't do that. I'm too distracted.
Come on, I know.
Real quick before I let you go, how big is this game tomorrow night, Lakers and Warriors?
Huge game tomorrow. This is a playoff game type tomorrow because the Warriors are a game behind the Lakers, and if either team wants to try to catch Phoenix or who's the other team they're looking for?
Sacramento, Dallas.
Sacramento. They got to start beating on each other and start winning. So this is a huge game tomorrow. If the Warriors lose, they're 2 games behind the Lakers running out of time, and the Lakers lose, then the Warriors and them are tied. So both teams are desperate to win tomorrow. So tomorrow, every game from here on out is huge, especially when they play each other.
Have a great call. Enjoy Destination Marriage, and we'll talk to you soon, Michael.
See you, man.
And remember, start that podcast, TNA.
Thank you. I appreciate
All right.
that. See you, Michael.
See you, man. Always fun talking to Michael Thompson. If you missed any of that, all available KNBR.com and the KNBR app. Checking out a fun conversation, and always fun talking Hallmark movies with Michael Thompson. A little bit on the NFL when we come on back. George Kittle has a restructured deal and a couple other moves, including Jimmy Garoppolo's new team. That's next. And then we'll get into a soup du jour, and Bill Lasky takes you home on a Friday night. It's Tolbert and Copes, only here on the Sports Leader.
Sound right, boy.
The 49ers have signed former Packers linebacker Devondre Campbell to a one-year deal. There's more on that story. It's trending. KNBR.com and the KNBR app.
Hey everybody, Mr. T here for Xfinity. You want more speed? Of course you do. Well, you're in luck because Xfinity just increased their internet speeds. That's right, they're faster than ever. Plus, with electric, super fast internet and a reliable connection, everybody can do more of what they love. Well, yeah, including you. I mean, you're number one. It's more about you, but you don't want to hear people whining, do you? The gamers, games, the downloading, the streaming. No, everybody's taken care of. Video chatting. What is that? I have no idea. Somebody does it, apparently. They'll be taken care of. That means they're not bothering you. Everyone, even people that are working, maybe even going to school. Yeah, I know, huh? School? What is that? But they can do that as well. Thing is, everyone's taken care of on any device, whether it's phones, tablets, TVs. Everyone's good to go. It's time to get speed. It's time to get more speed. Get 300 megabit Xfinity internet for only $25 a month with no annual contract and Wi-Fi equipment included. That's 50% more speed for the same great price. Go to Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit an Xfinity store today. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Taxes and other charges extra. After promo, regular rates apply. Actual speeds vary and are not guaranteed. You love sports, you love high def, you love speed and reliability. You love more speed at the same price. You will love Xfinity.
Play KNBR at your pad on your Apple HomePod. Tolbert and Copes now continue on KNBR 104.5 and 680, the sports leader.
Tolbert and Copes is sponsored by Xfinity. Go to KNBR.com/contest to register today to play against me for the KNBR $1 Million Bracket Challenge presented by Xfinity. At home or on the go, you'll get the fastest internet to all your devices.
Tolbert and Copes back with you on a Friday afternoon, a ska Friday afternoon. Fun conversation with Michael Thompson, former number 1 overall pick and NBA champion with the Lakers, and Clay's dad, and loves his Hallmark movies. Always fun talking Hallmark flicks with Michael Thompson. Always fun when Michael Thompson comes at Tom, too. I like that. What's better if you told come on, Tolbert. You were rough and tumble. What are you doing reading? Was one of my reading. Why don't you just record the History Channel so you can fast forward through the commercials? You read a book in like 20 minutes.
Nudie movie.
Nudie. It's so great because he's like tries to be this like hip guy, like, oh, you're old, you don't like the playing game. Come on, stop being so grumpy. And then he becomes the old guy when
he's
he goes,
grumpy. Yeah,
we doing reading. You reading? Just watch the damn show. Well, you get it done in an hour.
But then you put him on that show, and all of a sudden he was your best friend. He's like, whoa, what's that show again? Netflix. Yeah, that's
exactly.
Funny.
Goes, oh, that's a good one. That is a good show, though. Anybody that likes history, I highly recommend it. It's really, really good. It talks about how the Cold War basically started with the atomic bomb. That's where it started at the end of World War II with the atomic bomb. And they were talking about during the show that not only did we drop the bombs to end the war, but a lot of it was to show Russia, like, hey, we got this.
You saw that, right?
We have this capability.
Yeah.
And then what Russia did with it, and Stalin underrated mass murder. Like, he does not get the credit.
I was like, careful. Where are we going?
He does not get the credit.
Underrated what? Maybe just cut that for us, Tim, at underrated. I'd like to have Tom saying Stalin underrated.
He doesn't get the credit he deserves. I mean, this guy was, my God.
No, I know.
Like 20 million people? I mean, he did it to his own people. I knew a lot of that stuff. But I'd be surprised if you watched it. Because I like watching that kind of stuff, but I'd be surprised if you watched it if you didn't at least a few times during each show go, oh damn, I don't remember reading that one, or that's kind of wild.
Okay, more oh damns in that, or in what was the wedding movie that he just watched? The Engagement, the Hallmark
that'd have
flick.
been one big oh damn.
That'd have been one huge.
That'd have been one big.
And then Fades
oh,
of Black, you get the kiss.
What I didn't remember was that NATO. Thank you.
That's bad.
That NATO
so bad.
was. Voluntary. Like, anybody that joined NATO voluntarily joined NATO. The Warsaw Pact, however, not so voluntary.
No, not so
Russia
much.
told everybody, like, oh, you're joining this Warsaw Pact. And I don't know if I remembered it or not, but the Warsaw Pact was in response to NATO, that they were putting their kind of block of and then it goes through the whole thing. Like last show was why is this memories? Why is this? I wasn't even alive during this. This is history. Whatever.
This is Reading Rainbow. What are we doing, Tom?
I went through the Bay of Pigs and all that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, the pigs.
I would suggest watching it for anybody that likes those type of shows. I'm finding it very. I don't know if entertaining is the right word for that type of stuff, but informational, shall we say. Entertaining might not...
I don't know if you'll be entertained, but it will inform you.
The atomic bomb, it's so entertaining. That kind of stuff is, that just gets me. Wow.
It's kind of my...
I didn't know if I wanted to watch Wedding Crashers or atomic bomb stuff. I just went with atomic bomb because I've seen Wedding Crashers so many times.
Well, like I told you, Sash and I watched Oppenheimer. She hadn't seen it. I watched it for the first time with her, and about an hour and a half in, she goes, oh, wait. So Oppenheimer, he made the atomic bomb. I was like, yeah, what did you think we were watching? What do you think they've been talking about this whole time? Do you think this was all fiction? Where was this taking place? I was like, they're mixing the car. I was like, what is that? I was like, my brain like fritzed out for a minute. I was like, I don't know what's happening. We can't guarantee you'll be entertained or informed with Tolbert and Copes, but we will just say stuff for 4 hours
Exactly.
or any amount that the Giants allot based on rain in Arizona. How about a little NFL news? And I got some baseball news for you, too.
Yes, I saw that. I think I know where you're going with the baseball news.
A couple of different things. So, first 49ers, they restructured George Kittle's contract. It's going to save him $10 million in cap space. Great. Cool. Seems positive.
Good.
Seems
I mean,
positive.
not good for, I don't know that we care, but good for them. I guess, well, if they go sign somebody, it'd be good for the 49er fans.
My take is nice. Nice move.
Yeah, like yeah, that's nice. That's nice.
Yeah, it's probably a positive thing. You know what I mean?
Well done.
49ers, especially since they tried to with Armstead, and he was like, "What the hell?"
He's like, "No, we're good."
I don't think so. 49ers have signed former Packers linebacker Devondre Campbell, which is kind of divided. Like, it seems to me after the Eric Kendricks thing happened that the not the consensus, but when we spoke to David Lombardi the other day, and that was a great podcast. If you haven't heard it, a great interview where he informed on a lot of stuff going on with the roster and about a lot of the D linemen. But he had said that Eric Kendricks they viewed as like he would be the third guy once Dre Greenlaw came back. Then they thought, okay, now we don't have to rush Dre back. When Dre's available, then we have a situation maybe like Azeez Al-Shire, but with somebody who's experienced. I kind of feel the same now in what I'm looking at here, where people will go, well, he's a former All-Pro. He's a former big-time numbers guy, but people will say he's fallen off in the last couple of years. If he's joining a defense of this caliber and a linebacker room of this caliber, I've got more confidence in his ability when he doesn't have to be the guy. Know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know much about him. I read the same stuff you did. And look, you expect he would have dropped off, or you wouldn't be getting him. I mean, you're not going to get Kendricks the same thing. He wasn't the player he was 3 or 4 years ago. I'm curious how that went down. I wonder if the Cowboys were going to try to get him anyway, and then they saw the Niners sign him. They go, well, if we're going to do it, we got to do it now. And we'll just give him a little bit more. And he wanted to go play for Zimmer because Zimmer was the head coach of the Vikings when he kind of ran the defense there. And I think Zimmer wants him to do similar things with the Cowboys. So I understand why he kind of jilted the 49ers.
He wanted to play for Zimmer. He may have negotiated himself into some money or something like that. It may have been a tactic or a ploy. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And maybe they thought they would wait and get him for cheaper, but when they realized they couldn't, they jumped in and made him an offer he could not refuse. So,
by the way, it was a 2-year deal with Dallas instead of a 1 year with the Niners. So that's the other thing.
Got it. Okay.
And
so
then,
got himself a little more and got to play for his coach. I get it.
You know, the one that was weird to me was Devin White, 1 year deal with the Eagles, and I was like, what if the Niners? Like, he was cheap too. Wasn't it like $8 million or something like that? What was it, Derek? Yep, $7 million for a 1 year deal for Devin White from the Buccaneers. He goes to the Eagles. I was like, man, that would have been a nice one. I thought.
Yeah, is he still good? I mean, I don't know.
26?
I know he was one of the best linebackers in the game, like a couple years ago. I don't know if he's still that guy.
Derek says he's okay.
I don't know if we mentioned it or not. Queen went to Pittsburgh from Baltimore.
Yeah, was that yesterday or 2 days ago?
Yeah, maybe we mentioned
it. Was earlier in the week. Yeah, Baltimore's made a couple of nice ones. How about this one? Keenan Allen traded for a 4th-round pick to the Bears.
I know. I saw that. Both their wide receivers now are gone. They cut Williams and traded Keenan Allen, and they got the Bears got Swift from Philly, so they're loading up. They
drafted a guy last year, Quentin Johnston. Is that his name?
Yes, the guy to TCU.
Chargers did. They have a
nothing.
burner. No. I bet you Josh Palmer's hanging around there. He's probably stuck to that roster somewhere as like the 5. He'll flare up as a fantasy option that won't do anything at some point around week 11. Marquise Brown signs Marquise Hollywood Brown signs a deal with the Chiefs. How about that? What do you think of that, man? I kind of like that move.
Yeah, so do I. Get some speed in that on the outside for him now.
He's not a bad receiver.
It's like if you're, it almost seems like if you're going to get the Chiefs, probably should have got them last year, where they struggled. They weren't quite as good. Took them a while to get going. Now it's like, damn. Going to be even harder to get them this year.
Yeah, you mean to beat the Chiefs?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right.
Like last year would have been the year to get them. Last year would have been the year to beat them because they scuffled. They weren't great last year offensively. Kind of sputtered. Defensively, they were really good. And we'll see what they do with Snead. I know they franchise tagged him. They signed Jones. They got him back. So, they're going to be better this year. I mean, Rice is going to be better this year. He was better at the end of last year.
Rice was sick last year. Yeah.
Kelsey's still good. You get Hollywood Brown in there. You know they're going to draft a receiver or two. I mean, that's a given. So they're going to be better. Last year, it's like, oh, damn. That was like the year we should have got him. Now they're going to be better and even tougher. I wonder if he's going to catch. Like, I would have never thought it was possible for someone to catch Brady as far as Super Bowl wins. And I still don't think it's going to happen. Like 7 just seems that's an absurd number.
I kind of think it is going to happen.
But damn, he's 3.
I think so. I wonder how many Andy Reid. I'm wondering how what changes. That might be his lull, like Brady had in the middle of his career, right? Like, and he's winning it. You have to start young in the way that Brady did. And I think Brady was the youngest quarterback to win one, maybe until Mahomes, or there was a handful of guys. Brock would have been. Roethlisberger. That's right. Roethlisberger was. But Brady's still one of the youngest on the list. I think when Brady won the first one, he was the youngest. Then Roethlisberger passed him. I think then Mahomes did. Had Brock won, he would have then passed Mahomes and been like the second youngest or something like that. But because he started so early, what's he have 3 now?
Yeah.
So stupid.
I know. It's absurd.
So dumb. How many more did you beat the Niners in? We have more moves here. He's like, dude, I can beat the Niners. How many times I got to do this? I can get 7. They go all the time. Kenny Pickett. How about this one? I like the news last week that the before they signed, they were rumored to be talking to Russell Wilson.
I didn't
when he
see
was a
this
free
one.
agent. And the general manager of the Steelers says, no, we're committed to Kenny Pickett.
Committed to doing what with him?
We're committed to trading him to the Eagles, I guess, because they signed Russell Wilson, and now he's a Philadelphia Eagle. So,
wow.
Kenny Pickett apparently not happy. I was like, yeah, dude, no S. He's from Pittsburgh. He went to Pitt. Was all hyped for only quarterback drafted in the first round 2 years ago, and
he gets to stay in state.
Yeah, that's nice.
Played at Pitt, goes to Philly.
Goes to Penn.
Not bad.
Goes to Penn.
There's no more teams in Pennsylvania, are there?
We're out of it. Yeah, he can play for the Pirates if he wants.
I guess that's it for him.
Can you lace him up and play and get on the ice for me, bro? If you can do that, you can play for the Penguins.
Yeah, I guess that's about it.
That's about it. All right, and then how about one more piece of news? We said this earlier. Jimmy Garoppolo has a new team after he's going to serve a 2-game suspension for PEDs, which is still just funny to me. I'm like, what is this about? What's going on? Jimmy Garoppolo signs a contract to back up Matt Stafford. He'll be the number 2, likely, now down in Los Angeles with the Rams. A little bit of baseball news. J.D. Davis has a new home. Is this the baseball news you saw?
He ain't going far.
He ain't going far.
Well, maybe he is. We're not sure where he's going, to be honest with you.
I don't know if he knows where he's going. Because I would say the city, but I don't know. He's signed with the A's.
Knows where they are.
Signed with the A's, J.D. Davis. Derek, do you know how much money he got?
A's.
Any contract details? I was really interested to see what he'd signed for because of. I
think it was 2.5.
I'll tell you what it was.
Bag said if he gets all the incentives, he can get up to 4.6.
So even if he hits incentives, he won't hit what he won in arbitration.
No,
so
not even close.
Even if you combine that with the buyout the Giants had to pay him, like the 1.5, and if he hits all the incentives, he's at 6. Oof.
Nope. Ain't getting there.
So there you go. There's the market. So Farhan's not the bad guy. He's like, we got a bad deal on this. Like we were going to have to overpay for this player. So I don't think that was bad evaluation. I get that it doesn't make people happy in the way that it went down. $2.5 million is the deal with $1 million in incentives. So he can get to 3.5. He's going to play third base for the A's. One more bit of news here. Giants are confirmed, or the Giants were a confirmed team among the 5 that were at Blake Snell's throwing session today. How about that?
Let me guess the other ones. Yankees?
I assume they were there. I don't have all the list in front of me. But we know the other. We know 3 of
Dodgers, just because.
I figure it's Yankee. My guess is it's Yankees, Dodgers, Padres, and now this is the other piece of news.
Padres? You think the Padres?
Excuse me, not the Padres. Who was the other team that was in on it? It was Yankees and is the Astros are the team that has flared up.
Okay, yeah.
As now they're saying the Astros are the team that is like in hot pursuit of Blake Snell. This is per Mark Feinsand. Blake Snell threw 4 innings of a simulated game on Friday in Seattle in front of scouts, including the Giants and the Astros. Those in attendance said they were impressed with how he threw. The Astros right now are apparently the team that has emerged as a top shooter, unless the Giants are involved too. Who knows?
Did he walk 4 simulated batters?
It would have been funny if they had him pitch like 7 simulated innings. I mean, he's like something he never does.
No, I can't do that.
They had him pitch 4 simulated innings. I was like, yeah, that sounds about right.
Well, I think I saw somewhere on Twitter that the pitcher for the Astros, Jose Urquidy, was having like elbow issues or something like that.
Cranky.
So yeah, they got to. Yeah, I mean, if the Astros are in on him, that's probably where he's going to end up going. They'll give him the money. It's Texas, no state tax, all that crap, and they have a chance to win. So, I mean, why wouldn't you go to the Astros?
All that crap. All right, that's
crap.
That's your little
winning crap.
That's an update on what's going on with some of the signings, both in baseball and in football. We got a little time for a soup du jour. Hopefully, it's a what's that cold soup?
Gazpacho?
Gazpacho, dude. Gazpacho.
I've never had it. It sounds like ass.
A nice Irish gazpacho. We'll do that for St. Paddy's Day. That's next, and then Bill Lasky coming up at 6 o'clock for Sports Phone KNBR. That's next on the Sports Leader.
Sick of this crap.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Adam Copeland here yet again, reminding you that Westside Promotions is back in the Bay Area, bringing you a historic night of boxing for St. Paddy's Day weekend. It's going down tomorrow, March 16th, showcasing 2 huge title fights and an action-packed undercard. First time in history that the Irish Celtic title will be fought for in the United States. Again, this Saturday, tomorrow, March 16th, current Irish champion Craig McCarthy will be facing up-and-coming Irish sensation Tommy Hyde for the Irish Celtic super middleweight title. 2016 Russian Olympian Peter Kamakov, who's 11-0, is going to be fighting for the vacant National Boxing Association middleweight title against a very tough opponent in Von Alexander out of St. Louis. Westside Promotions is doing a great job of bringing professional boxing back to the Bay Area. It's been awesome in the last couple of years. They recently had 2 big WBC title fights in 2023, and they've got a lot of top talent signed up to be showcased throughout 2024. Tickets for this event can be purchased at westside-promotions.com.
Excuse me, Flo?
It's that time of day.
What is the soup du jour?
It's the soup of the day.
Tolbert and Cope's Soup du Jour.
That sounds good. I'll have that.
Tolbert & Copes is sponsored by Xfinity. Go to KNBR.com/contest to register today to play against me for the KNBR $1 Million Bracket Challenge presented by Xfinity. At home or on the go, you'll get the fastest internet to all your devices. Well, okay. Here we go. I love the mugshots of these guys. They're just like totally fit what they're charged with. A supermarket employee, not someone that just rolled into the supermarket. Employee, a trusted employee. When I say, "Excuse me, sir, where's the Captain Crunchberry? Aisle 3." I know it's going to be aisle 3 because I trust him. He's trustworthy. If I looked at this guy, he's not all that trustworthy. Kind of looks like B. Smith a little bit. So he did. I mean,
with or without the Rams haircut.
No, without the Rams haircut.
What if we got that Rams haircut today because of Jimmy G news?
Yeah, he. Oh God. Just make sure you check the produce. I don't know what store this guy was in. Okay. Yeah, he was pleasuring himself onto produce.
Oh, creepy.
Exactly.
The kumquats? Is that what it was?
I just couldn't. I was thinking to myself, like, oh my gosh, that is so disgusting. And then I thought to myself, if I had to, what produce would I pleasure myself onto? Like what one?
Oh,
would it?
Creepy. If I had to,
probably something
one?
soft.
That's
like
what
spinach.
You thought.
Like spinach would be one. It's kind of soft, kind of leafy. Yeah, just it looks like it'd feel good, but. No.
What are you talking about?
That's too creepy.
About. Last week we had a story about a guy who was like living in a house of Eggo waffles. It was like made of waffles or something. And Tom's like, "What food would you live in a house out of?" This time he's like, "What vegetable would you pleasure yourself to in the supermarket?"
I mean, this guy's a
what season is it? That's what I got to know is what season. What's in season?
Ooh, that's good. You want some summer squash?
Some follow-up, dude.
That probably wouldn't be too bad. A little summer squash. This guy's got some serious issues. He was busted last month on charges of pleasuring himself once again outside numerous coffee shops. Maybe it was during the pumpkin spice latte season.
Did you go
that
get
got
a
him going.
Yeah, the pumpkin's going. He's like, "Oh, dude, look at all these."
He's like, "Oh, the pumpkin spice.
Look at these hot pumpkins, dude. Yeah,
those are incredible.
The decorative pumpkins, like in the window everywhere that people put out. I don't know where those come from or where they go, but they got them everywhere every year.
Oh my gosh!
Like you said, he was busted again.
Oh no!
It was a Safeway. I got a Safeway next to my house.
Uh-oh.
Oh, this is in Fort Collins. So we're all
Is that in Florida, Derek?
yeah.
Is that or Texas?
Oh, this guy didn't even confine himself to the produce.
Derek? Oh, no.
It was not only fruits and vegetables. It was baked goods as well. I mean, come on, bro.
That's too easy of a bit now.
People are going to think that's icing. You kidding me?
Come on, man.
I mean, what do we do? What?
Come on, man.
What? I didn't give myself this story, okay? I did not send this story to myself. I work with what I have. That's all I can do. And this is what I was sent, so this is what I'm trying to work
scouring
with.
the web. This is what you found?
Yeah, no, I'm not. I get stories sent to me, and they're like, hey, this one might be kind of funny. Everyone knows what I do with stories, so that's not on me. I'm absolving myself of any responsibility.
You're disgusting,
and
Tim.
Anything
You're a freak.
Oh, God.
Tim, you're a freak. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Disgusting.
And by the way, they weren't all commercially sealed, so there you go. You have that going for me.
Fresh
going for
baked
you,
goods,
so,
dude. Come on.
yeah.
Bakery. Bakery at Safeway. Come on, man.
That's an interesting biscuit. Thank you.
Speaking of, I got a late entry that just might match up or line up with that story. We can get I'll get it all out of the way here quickly. This headline gets me. It might be all about the headline here. A drunken Detroiter, a drunken Detroiter was caught after he, quote, jacked himself to sleep in the theater during a movie about lesbian bodybuilders.
Whoa, oh, baby. Oh, my.
By the way,
oh, look at the sinews.
Dude, I got to send you that. I got to send this to you. The photo they use from above the photo they use of the bodybuilders movie, like, and then also the shot that they got of the guy from above.
Baby.
He's like,
come on.
like asleep. Dude,
Jacked himself to sleep.
Dude, he's asleep and his head's like tilted to the side. He's like, it's so funny. It's from like over and behind him. Dude, it's so stupid. Oh, man.
When's the last time there was a movie about women bodybuilding? I don't remember that movie. Was that up for an Oscar? Oh, baby.
By the way, he's got shots of Fireball next to him on the table.
Of course he does. Why wouldn't he?
Yeah, he's got his vape there. So that the article starts, it says, Cowboy Killers, check. Vape, check. Fireball, check. Time for a solo trip.
Give it to me, Daddy.
Then it goes on to say what you want about Pee Wee Herman. But at least he was in an actual, like, adult film. Says at least he was cranking it in an actual adult film. Oh, man.
Dang.
This is like a film noir, this one he was in. Do you know what I mean? Like he's
film noir. What are you talking about?
Noir. What am I talking about? I'm just trying to bring some
black and white.
Trying to bring some highbrow,
black and blue
film discussion to this conversation. That's all.
Yeah,
trying to
give
keep
it a rest, pal.
Just giving it my best Mick LaSalle. That's all. You know.
Can you imagine? Yeah. Oh,
sure. He loves being a part of this.
Yeah.
This
I'm not sure
story.
if the guy was sitting up, but I know something was.
That's it. Yeah. What was the little man in the chair doing?
Dude, we should do that, like for porn movies. Instead of the little man, you just say, "Oh, that one said."
The guy's just out cold, but that's a good thing. Yeah.
I'm not going to finish that.
He's out cold, but it gives you the minute in which you knocked out.
That's just so dumb.
Oh, man.
Oh, that may be the best thing I've heard in a while. Jacked himself to sleep.
It's very good. Dude, it puts it in quotes, too. I'm like, why is it in quotes?
Either that or he's changing a tire.
I imagine, that's why I couldn't believe I was reading what I was reading when I saw the headline earlier. I was like, this is too funny. I was like, this is such a funny story.
Doing Detroit proud.
By the way, it's got the little like blurb of the guy, like his little photo icon. And then
I am absolutely jacked out of my mind, bro.
Bang!
As soon as I heard it start to play, I was like, this is so dumb. But the guy's name who wrote the article, he is, his name, he uses like you have like on Twitter, your alias or your name, whatever your username is. This guy's name is Ken Jackson. I would guess, but he is Ken Jack. It's just his username.
Jack?
Yeah, Ken Jack. Jacked himself to sleep.
Oh, God. That's good stuff.
I am absolutely jacked out of my mind, bro.
Oh, my gosh. He was oiled up. They were oiled up. Everyone was oiled up.
So stupid.
You get a mugshot of this guy?
No, there's a photo of him asleep. I'll send you the photo.
Big D.
That guy looks like B. Smith, too. That'd be wild.
I would be with the Rams haircut. So dumb. Oh, man. Yeah, there's a helmet joke in there, says Tim, somewhere.
The yams. Oh, let's see. What else do we have? We had the other one, too. It wasn't... Nah, you know what? I'm going to leave it at those two. This one's not as good as those two, so I'm not even going to go to...
Tom, I'm just going to let you go. So I got to let you guys go.
So where's let us go?
I agree. Like, I would concur. They probably should, and yeah, that was probably it. That was a solid soup.
We should maybe leave it there. I don't know if we're going to top Jack himself to sleep, dude.
That was a topper.
It's so dumb.
Movie.
Topper. Tolbert and Coach. That was a soup du jour for Friday, March 15th. Bill Lasky's going to join us next for a little face-off. Yeah, I'm sure he's thrilled about this. When Lasky comes up, we'll ask him some of his favorite St. Patty's Day memories. What spring training St. Patty's Day memories? We got to have some from Bill Lasky. We'll talk about that next. I got to see this movie. Now I got to see this flick. Only here on a little film noir on the Sports Leader.
Duty movie.
The 49ers don't have to worry about Aaron Donald anymore as the three-time Defensive Player of the Year announced his retirement today after 10 NFL seasons. More on that story trending, KNBR.com and the KNBR app. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Adam Copeland back here for Underdog Fantasy, reminding you that the NBA season is still going on. Right, Tom said we can see the finish line now, but still an opportunity to watch some NBA. We got Dubs and Lakers tomorrow night, and an opportunity to download Underdog Fantasy, the Underdog Fantasy app, and then start playing the Pick'em game. It's a fantasy game, but you can win real money. Easy to play and even easier to get started. First, the Pick'em game. That's where you pick between 2 and 5 players. They give you a series of stats for the players. You select whether or not they will go higher or lower on those stats. And if your picks hit, you can win 100 times your money or up to 100 times your money while watching some hoops. It's legal in California, and it's a blast to play along, especially tomorrow night. A big tilt for the Dubs. But to start, you got to download the Underdog Fantasy app or go to UnderdogFantasy.com. And when you sign up, use promo code KNBR with your first deposit, and they'll match that first deposit up to $100, plus give you a special pick to use with your first Pick'em entry. Again, Underdog Fantasy, promo code KNBR to get that first deposit of $10 or more, up to $100 matched, plus that special pick. You must be 18 or older and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms do apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
Oh, God.
All right, time to wrap it up for the week. But before we do, we welcome in Bill Lasky, find out what he has going on up until 9 o'clock right here on the Sports Leader. Bill, what's going on?
Hi, Bill.
Gentlemen, I am jacked out of my mind to do this show tonight.
You're so jacked, you're gonna go head to the produce section.
I am on cloud nine, guys. Come on.
You love spring training rainouts. Nobody does more than Bill.
Oh, it was an awesome 2 innings, Adam. Come on now, and then you had a 45-minute delay, and then you jump back in it, and tarps came back on, and yeah, it was fun watching and listening to that game.
2 innings lasted longer than that guy in Detroit.
Hey, oh.
Yes, sir.
You a big St. Patty's Day guy, Bill?
Hey, I had a nice lunch today, a little corned beef, cabbage, red potatoes. I'm psyched. It was very good. I'm down in about 2 gallons of water right now, so I'm good.
Yeah, that'll dry you out.
Gotta hydrate.
Oh, my
Gotta
goodness.
hydrate.
Yeah, seriously.
Woo, corned beef definitely does
Irish
it for
known
you.
for their cuisine. Big time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Big time. But
Let me ask you guys, you guys drink green beer? Do you guys go into the green beer thing?
No. Unless it's already green. Like there's some beers that I get, like some sour beers that happen to be green, but I'm not going to go to the extra effort to get green food dye and like put it in my beer and go, hey, St. Patty's Day, I have green beer. Like, no, why? I mean, why? I just want to open the beer and drink the beer. I don't need the extra step to make it green. I just
So
don't.
you don't like to watch the bartender putting green dye in your beer behind the bar and then going, here you go, Tom, have a green beer.
Not really. I mean, if they want to do it, they can do it. I'm not going to tell them not to. I just love the fact we've co-opted everyone's like holidays. Like we got Cinco de Mayo, we have St. Patty's Day. Where's our? We don't really have one for like an Italian holiday. We haven't we have co-opted an Italian holiday just for drinking because we do that for St. Patty's.
Well, we stole Valentine's Day from the Flying Babies with Wings. That wasn't cool. We took that her own. I know. Oh.
That's a loser holiday because we're the ones that get screwed anyway. I just love the fact it's like St. Patty's Day. Oh, cool. Let's celebrate. Let's drink. Cinco de Mayo. Cool. Let's celebrate.
I think the difference is that the Irish, like, they do St. Patty's Day, and Cinco de Mayo is just like our made-up thing.
It is our made-up.
You know what I
thing.
mean? I think that would be the difference.
Independence Day.
No.
It's like some other day. Yeah,
September.
we just made. Yeah, because we want to sell merchandise. We're like, how do we sell more beer? Like Corona's like, dude, we need like, can we get something for like a Mexican holiday or something so we can sell some more Corona, get some more limes off the shelf? Yeah, we're good.
Some more guac.
Let's go Cinco de
We
Mayo.
got leftover guac from the Super Bowl. We need to.
And then, of course, 4th of July, we're just like, yeah, let's drink again.
Yeah.
We're good.
Yeah.
There's
some stripes on it. Yeah, we're good.
Let's drink.
Some stripes on
Red,
it.
white, and blue.
There you go.
Yeah, find a way to get a holiday and drink out of it. We will definitely. And then look, I'm not mad. I'm not mad about it. I'm the same as everybody else. Although I will say that the one thing that was kind of rough is when the first weekend of March Madness used to coincide with St. Patty's Day, and it still does sometimes.
That'll mess you up.
Vegas is a nightmare at that point. It's a nightmare anyway for March Madness, but you add in St. Patty's Day, oof. It's something to behold.
I can't think about Vegas yet. Again, like you brought it up, I was like, oh, this is terrible.
That's a bad dream for you, Adam.
Yeah, I know, it's a bad dream. Fever dream. Well, it might have literally been a fever dream.
Yeah, exactly.
You ever been to Vegas, Bill, for March Madness?
Not March Madness, so I've been to Vegas a few times there, Tom. Not March Madness, though. I can imagine how crazy it is with March Madness. It's going to get crazy starting tonight and then going on to the next few weekends.
So what are you looking for in spring training? Like, are there certain things that you are kind of keeping your eye on to see either who's swinging it well or who's throwing it well?
I'm more on the pitcher side. I'm really watching the starting rotation, and there's a lot of question marks going on. I mean, it is spring training, and guys are still going through the motions trying to get their stuff together. But, when you're looking at a very inexperienced starting staff, that's what I worry about more than anything.
What do you think about Harrison and what do you – I don't even know if we can expect anything out of him this year. I'm just hoping he throws the ball over the plate because if he does, he's hard to hit. And I think he may be able to give them those, 150 innings they'll be looking for. But his stuff looks really, really good. I'm just wondering if he's going to be one of those pitchers, Bill, that's like he has only given up one hit through 5 innings, but it's already 102 pitches.
Tom, my biggest thing with Harrison, he's in the 2 slot, so you're going to get those 1-2 type pitchers in a rotation where he's not going to be able to make mistakes.
Yeah.
And when you make mistakes, you're going to go have 3-4 runs, and this team is not going to generate 3 or 4 runs against some of the top line starters. That's the only thing I worry about. I would rather see him in a 4th and 5th spot where he could dominate that and put a guy in that 2nd spot. Snell kind of fits in there, but I just don't know how deep they want to go with him. It's an inexperienced starting staff.
What do you think? Let me ask you real quick, because you mentioned Snell. I want to ask you this, because I'm curious what you have to say. Because I've been saying I like him. They'd be better with him, but I don't want to pay a guy ace money who doesn't go into the 7th inning, a lot of times doesn't go into the 6th inning. That, to me, is part of being an ace. And while I may get an ace-type performance for 5 or 6 innings, I feel like if I'm paying that type of dough, I want to be able to get maybe 7 or 8 occasionally, and with him, you don't.
You're 100% correct. There's no question about it. I mean, you're getting 6 innings out of him. Bob Melvin managed him. There was no way he was going past the 6th inning. He could have had a 1-hitter, 2-hitter going. Yep. He was coming out after 6 innings. And then you rely on your bullpen to finish it. And that's kind of my question tonight is, you've got 162 games times 9 innings. Who's going to eat all these innings up in your starting rotation when they're so inexperienced? That's the question I'd like to ask Farhan. Where is the length in these starters? Because you are going to have pitch counts on a lot of these young guys, and can they go deep in the games? I don't know. It's going to be a big, big question mark. You asked me what I'm concerned about. That's the starting staff.
Yeah. What do you got going on tonight?
I got an entertaining show out tonight. I have Omar Vizquel. I caught up with him in Caracas, Venezuela. 24 years he played in the big leagues, 11 Gold Gloves. We're going to dive into the shortstop position. Luciano against Ahmed. We're going to talk a lot about that. And then I caught up with Ryan Christensen. He's been Bob Melvin's bench coach since 2018. And fans need to know what a bench coach does. I mean, maybe you guys know, but he comes up with some great theories on what he does with Bob Melvin. And then I sat down with Abe Silvestri. He is the traveling secretary for the Giants. Some really fun stories.
Abe's great, good dude.
Some off-season stuff with Aaron Judge and Ohtani, and he breaks into a couple of those stories. And then I ended up with Ben Kaspick, and you wonder who Ben is. He does a podcast Monday through Friday, Locked on Giants, and we delve into a lot of things that are going on in spring training. Puzzle pieces, more or less. Who fits here, who fits there. And that's all coming up right here on Sports Phone KNBR.
It's a nice little Giants primer is what it is.
And there's baseball news. You guys announced it. J.D. Davis.
Yep.
That's a surprise to me, but he's going to play, and that's what you want to do. He's a free agent at the end of the year. So I think that was one of the reasons why he probably went to the A's.
Bill, have a great show. Always great catching up with you, and have a fun weekend, too.
You too, guys. Have a good weekend, and we'll catch up with you next week.
See you, man.
Absolutely. Thanks, Bill. Bill Lasky is going to be with you right up until 9 o'clock. So, make sure you stay tuned, because I want to know what a bench coach does, too. I got to be honest with you. I kind of know, but I kind of don't know at all. So we will find out. And Omar Vizquel is always a fun listen. Maybe he'll sing. That's what I was going to say. Maybe he'll sing Broadway's Dark Tonight. Maybe I'll do a little He'll do some Goo Goo Dolls for you.
He's a young man sitting in an old man's chair. Love that song, dude.
Let's get the hell out of here.
It's incredible.
Oh, let's thank Michael Thompson, Randy Bennett for joining us today. Thank you very much to Derek. Appreciate it. Great job this week. And Tim, well done. Have fun going over there and getting some beers. Get some whole thanks, Ralph.
Thanks, bro.
Whole crew's there.
Yeah, whole crew is there. Hopefully I see Greg Papa.
You really mean that?
No. I'll see you next week, dude.
Take it away, Dirk. Stalin, underrated.
Oh, my God. Oh! Shut it down.